Good Sunday, I should say. This is a special episode of the Overgrown Third Graders podcast. This is a mental health roundtable, and I'm going to bring in everyone one at a time. If you saw the warning, that is going to be, just so you know, this is going to be a heavy topic. But yeah, this is something that I feel like in the toy community that doesn't get talked about openly enough. So this is what we're here for, to talk about it and our experiences with mental health. So as I bring in everybody, we have Josie Collectables, we have Dave's Dimension, we have Sleeping Collectibles, we have EC Collecting, we have Dre and Eddy's Toy Chat, and Cravin'The Toy Hunt. Welcome, gentlemen. So this is how we're going to break this all down for all the viewers. I'm going to, call on one of you guys, and then you guys just unmute and then talk about your experiences. So I will start with Mr. Joe C. Collectables.
Okay. First, thanks for having me on this podcast.
Thank you.
I know I'm not very well known through the community, but hopefully that changes some point. Been watching a lot of you for a while, and it really helps to get through things. It really does. Like Greg C says, it refreshes the soul. So when you go on a toy hunt, it helps. And for me, in 2016, I lost my son to suicide. He was 21 at the time, and just like a normal day, I woke up, took my dog for a walk, and came back to probably the most horrifying news I could ever imagine. That whole day is just a blur, to say the least. But because of that, I just became very dark. Didn't want to be bothered with a lot of people. Didn't believe in a whole lot of things anymore. I didn't have faith in a lot of things anymore. It was just a very dark time. Thankfully, I have good people around me. My wife, my father. You know, we helped each other get through it a little bit. It's never gonna be totally gone from our minds, obviously. But over time, I know I've discovered that I have to appreciate the 21 years that I had with Eli. That was my son's name, and not look at what could have been. Just I gotta appreciate the 21 years that we spent together, and we're able to have a blast. He made me who I am today. He made me responsible. He made me me, and I appreciate everything he did for me. I love him. I always will. And over time, like I said, it's not gotten easier, but I have learned to appreciate what I had all that time instead of looking at it like why did this happen. So yeah, just to make my story a little shorter to give everybody time. That's it in a nutshell. But I can say, watching, and collecting and watching you guys, that's helped. Because when I go to the store and I'm just looking around at the toys, I have so many memories that pop up from me and him walking around Toys R Us and all, collecting things and trying to buy one for inbox and one to open. That's what we did together. So when I walk into the store, I usually like to go by myself. My wife sometimes goes, but she's really not into this stuff. But she goes just because she's a trooper. She even went down to ICCC with me. I ran into Sleeping there. He talked to me for a few minutes. I appreciate that. He's awesome. Love his videos. There's so many of you guys that I watch that it just made everything a little clearer and made me want to do this again because I had stopped this for a long time. But yeah, so in a nutshell, that's my story. I miss and love my son every day. Eli, I know you're watching. I love you. And thank you guys for listening. thank you, T3, for putting this show on. And yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, man. That's some tough stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, tough stuff to go through. I appreciate you reaching out to me and getting to talk to you. And this
Well, I
is
appreciate you.
partly why we're doing this is because of you. And then I was planning on doing this anyway, just trying to get a group of soldiers like you gentlemen to join along. So yeah, I appreciate you, Joe, for coming on and doing this, and everybody else. So
Thank you.
Chris.
There we go. Sorry, I was muted. All right. Yo, damn, Joe. I'm sorry to hear that, man. My I don't know, man. My heart goes out to you, brother. And yeah, to all you guys, man. Everyone's struggling with any of this stuff. That's I don't know. My personal background is just I guess I could go back and like link it to childhood trauma and just divorce and growing up in like a broken household and all that. That's almost like a common story for most people my age, but I don't know. I just with anxiety and depression and things like that, and it was some of it was self-diagnosed, some of it was diagnosed when I met with shrinks and things along those lines. But I can't. I don't know. I'm taken aback by your story, Joe. That's my heart's out to you, brother. I'm so sorry, man. I'm a father. I have a 15-year-old daughter, and man, my heart's out to you, brother. I don't know everyone else's story as far as this goes. I'm actually humbled to be here, man. Carlos, thanks for putting this together, brother. And like we were saying the other day, like maybe just talking, just putting it out on the table, like a lot of people nowadays, as opposed to like when I was growing up, like there was kind of a stigma around mental health. It's like I'll be a man and like suppress that shit, and it's like for the longest time that's what I did, man. And to be able to have like 6 other strong dudes in here like talking about this and like putting it out there, even if one person hears it and they're like they realize that they're not alone, and it's like especially in a toy community that's it's kind of a niche community like this. Oh shit, sorry. Oh damn it, there we go, my bad. And that's the problem with these cords. Anyway, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's props to you, T3, for putting this thing together, brother. So
Thanks. Because I know I've talked to you about this before, so yeah. So it's like you said, it's we're supposed to be men, we're supposed to suppress stuff and not talk about our feelings, and yeah. So me growing up, same thing. I'm half Hispanic, so the Hispanic culture is just that way. So you don't talk about it, you just suppress it, you push everything aside and just soldier on. So
right,
yeah.
Yeah, my dad was I only lived with him for a few years, but he's from Guatemala. My mom's American, and it's that culture is like that. You suppress that shit, man. You'd be a man, the machismo. Like, oh, damn it, I keep doing that. Sorry, man. Sorry. All right, I talk with my hands. Yeah, man, you're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right when it comes to that, especially the culture.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. For me, I have one older sister, which is my half sister. I have a younger sister, and I'm the only boy. So for my dad, his first child to be a boy, it's just like a ton of pressure. I'm 43, and I do not have a very good relationship with either of my parents now. There's all kinds of stuff that is a reason why, but yeah, to be the only son that he's had and to be the boy, there's always been pressure on me to, you know, be the best, work hard, all that stuff. And I just, after a certain point, I was just like, I need to step away from my family because I don't deal with negativity very well. So I just kind of secluded myself away from family and concentrate on, my kids and wife and stuff like that. Like, and then obviously
Oh yeah.
collecting. So yeah, I'll talk about my stuff a little later, but I'm gonna bring on Dave.
There you go. Had to unmute the mic. Yeah, Dave's to mention, but I'm Dave. Honestly, I've had a lot of stuff happen throughout my life. Started when, I was born cross-eyed. So I had visual hand and eye coordination issues. Pretty much from pre-K to 6th grade, I had went to occupational therapy. So literally, couldn't catch a ball to do anything with my life. Speech therapy, I would stutter constantly. Every word was just stuttering. And also, I got picked on because of that. You know how kids can be. So I actually had 2 years of counseling in school because being picked on, you're trying to defend yourself, verbally back at kids. I actually didn't have a father figure in my life until I was 10. I'm 43 as well. Sadly, both my parents have passed. So, there was a time when my mom passed, that during that time frame, I lost 4 other family members within 2 years. But I've always, even though I've had a lot of crap things happen throughout my life, for some reason I keep rolling forward. For some reason I may not show it the best or express it the best. Sometimes I kind of keep things bottled up, like you said. That's kind of like the society. My dad, that was my stepdad. He was in the army, so he was that tough of nails. Oh, you cut yourself, just put a paper towel on it. Like literally, the man once slipped, drilled through his hand, pulled it back out, and bandaged it up with duct tape. That's kind of like, it was like, stop your whining, that kind of stuff. But I'm still like, when I'm talking with my friends or I'm talking with someone, I'll ask them, what's going on? What's on your mind? That's just kind of like maybe some of the counseling I did kind of rubbed off on me. But yeah, sometimes it's hard. And given the job I do now, outside of YouTube, I actually do work in a customer service call center for a telecommunications company. So basically a cable company. And, people are always mad at the cable company. So I get that all day long, and then I come home. So YouTube is it's my therapy, kind of. I started it 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, because I got into charity cosplay, doing prop making. And I figured, hey, if I can do it, because I always have, we're always our worst critics. I am always constantly doubting myself and my skill. That's just who I am. And I said, hey, if I can do this, I can make a video and help someone else who can do it. Because if I can do it, anyone can. And that slowly snowballed into, I didn't have many toys as a kid. I'm like, well, this looks cool. This is cool. Oh, they have something new from, there's a new Optimus Prime, and I got into Transformers, and that kind of expanded. And, Dave's Dimension was born. But, sometimes, when it comes to YouTube or collecting, sometimes we get a little stressed because, we make these videos. Oh, they're not being viewed as much. Am I not doing something right? I'm that person where I always have 20 different things going on in my head. I'm kind of Murphy's Law. I expect the worst. The worst doesn't happen. I'm not necessarily disappointed. But yeah, I don't have high expectations about myself a lot of times, which is probably one of my worst habits. But I just try and push through a lot of times, mostly because I'm afraid of letting other people down. whether it's friends, family, work, you know, some Joe Schmo who is watching my video who does a negative comments, you know, it's someone out there who has a negative thought about me. And, you know, could you shrug it off? Sure. Am I ever going to meet this person in real life? Probably not. But, you know, that still kind of starts to weigh on you and sits in the back of your head. So, you know, there's times when you kind of have to, like, you know, maybe you step away for a stream or two, or even a month, or even a couple months. There's I see a lot of other YouTubers and, you know, people that I'm sure we all have seen who, you know, they get really affected by, you know, the negative commenters in their streams, or someone who might criticize their video. Oh, why does your setup look like that? Or, you know, can't you do this, or can't you do that? But, you know, it's each of us do our own channels, our own videos. You know, we don't always have the means for DSLR. We don't have, you know, this, we don't have that. You know, we do with what we can. I mean, my little room it's a storage room, actually. I have a ton of totes right here, you know? You know, it is what it is. It's my dimension. It's, you know, I'm all over the place. So, you know, that's how my channel is. And sometimes that's how my emotions are. You know, my mindset can be all over the place. So, but that's who I am. And, you know, no apologies for it, you know?
Yeah, man. We're pretty similar in a lot of ways. So I'm a very forward thinker, so I like to think ahead, and I always have 100 million things that I'm trying to do pretty much all at once. I mean, even my new job is starting to stress me out way too much, and I'm overthinking because, you know, my job has to do with sales a little bit, and, you know, there's numbers to hit, and I'm not, you know, I've only been doing it a few months, but I'm just not hitting numbers, and I'm focusing on people versus, you know, paycheck.
Yeah.
And I'm not for me and myself, I'd rather take care of people first and worry about all that stuff later. And, you know, in the perfect world, it would be great. But in the corporate world, it's like, nope, we need numbers out of you. So,
oh yeah. I mean, my call center job it's all numbers. It's not just, oh, have you fixed the person's problem? No, it's your handle time. You know, are you in a certain aux state? You know, are you speaking up? We have a mobile app for customers. Are you speaking that up? Are you doing this? Are you doing this? All these different metrics. And my company has changed 2 times since I've been with them, almost 9 years. And if it wasn't for what I'm getting paid and the benefits to my job, that's one of the reasons why I'm still there. But I've been looking the past year and a half. I've been looking around at other jobs, but, you know, it's when you've been somewhere for 9 years and you get X amount of pay, it's like, well, okay, do I really want to start bottom of the barrel again? Do I really want to start over? And especially at our age, 43, that is a kind of late in life to, you know, potentially switch employers, you know, especially when you've been there for so long. But, you know, you got to think, like, do I get the enjoyment? Because when I first started my job, it was a great place to work. It was, when you woke up, you're like, I'm looking forward to seeing my coworkers, seeing my boss, doing my job. And that changed about 3 or 4 years ago, because the company I work for, I won't name, but they switched our office completely from the business side of cable services and providing, over to what they call a bulk community style. So I get, like, now, instead of speaking with office professionals, now I'm speaking with you know, Grandpa Joe and you know, Grandma Esther down in Florida, who's retired, and trying to explain how to connect their cable boxes. You know, you get people who are just shouting at you, and, you know, they're not shouting at you specifically, but you're the one who they're talking to, and they're calling you an MF and, you know, this and that. So, I mean, it can be very stressing, like, and it's easier said than done to unplug when you get out of work. You have to find some way to vent, or some. And honestly, I'm that person where I don't vent to people. The way I usually because this goes back to when I was a kid. When I went to actual therapy or I had my counseling and my speech therapy, there were other ways to, work through my stresses and work through my frustrations. Was there's a friend of the community by the name of Coldbane Games. He has a Gundam building stream, and model making when I was a kid was a big thing. It helps me a lot with my hand-eye coordination, but also helped me kind of build stuff, to make stuff. Like, wow, I made that at the end. And he does Gundam builds, and that's been kind of like helping me a lot, like with some of my frustrations through work. You get to make these model kits. They're posable. They're action figures, kind of, in a way. Doing stuff like that, or like my prop making that I've done. I mean, just finding other ways to kind of make stuff. I mean, honestly, I never thought I would break 50 viewers, let alone, right now my channel it's been steadily growing this past year. So, it's kind of like that in itself, YouTube in itself it's kind of a mind blow. You're like, you think to yourself, oh, I'm just going to open up some boxes. Maybe I'll get some views. Maybe I'll make some friends, right? And it's not been a friends. It's been an online community and family. Sometimes when stuff goes down, people come together. And it's honestly, there's good and bad in everything. Nothing's going to be 100% perfect. You heard me mention that I do some stuff in the cosplay community. Well, every fandom has its own toxicity, its own toxic fan base. I mean, Star Wars has it. There's the elitists of the 501st. Respectfully speaking, I'm big into Ghostbusters, and there's a big toxicity level in that community. And it's, you get that everywhere. But, I honestly, doing YouTube has helped me learn more stuff. Like, one of the big things I do is I come home, I'm watching videos on streaming platforms or on editing or little tips and tricks, DIY stuff. And that's kind of like my therapy, working on different stuff, and, is it easy? Is it stressful? Yeah, it can be stressful at times, but, nothing worth doing is ever easy. And it's okay to, air your thoughts. I've done a few streams where I will just open up about things a couple times, like I was trying a new streaming platform the other night. Like, instead of StreamYard, I was using something else, and I had a bunch of flubs, a bunch of mistakes that started right in the beginning of the stream. And afterwards, what I did was I went on my community tab and I apologized for all the technical issues. We all know technical issues happen, but I felt I needed to apologize for it, That's just part of who I am. So.
Yeah, man. I'm not going to say that I don't have technical issues. Like, I feel like every episode we do, we have something. I know our first one was sleeping. There was this nonstop ones. And I just like, of course, this is going to happen. But, we've made it through. I mean, we're steadily, getting better at doing all this stuff. So it's just funny that you said that. I'm like, yeah, I had that same problem. And,
yeah, I mean, part of me is when I'm messing up, I'm like, back in my head, I'm like, you're an idiot. You can't do this. Should you even be doing this to begin with if you're making these mistakes? But that's life. I mean, one of the best lines from Batman Begins: "Why do we fall? So we can pick ourselves back up." I mean, I think that's one of the greatest things ever said. The other greatest piece of advice I was ever told was by my first employer. Like, it was off subject. It was about a girl, believe it or not. And I said, well, I wish how do I know if she likes me? Like, how do I know that she hates me? He's like, how do you know she doesn't? You don't know. Unless you know for sure, how do you know? I mean, should you sit there and be like, you know what? I don't think I could do this, so maybe I shouldn't. How do you know you can't do it? You know? So, I mean, it's like a coin, and, we're our worst critics. But it's, other people out there that, they keep you going. They're like, hey, keep going. Don't give up. I mean, honestly, when I first, probably within the first 6 or 8 months of doing this, I came across this this kind of bearded guy down south who had this community, and I became a part of his community, and it's been a backbone ever since. Sleeping, I mean, just meeting Colbane Games and Darth Blaze and so many others, Papa Gord, and we all have our down days, and we have each other's back. It's really a family, and it's okay to say you refer to some of your friends as family or as your brothers and sisters, because sometimes they're there in your darkest hours. I actually had the nerve to do a charity stream this past year, and thanks to so many of them, it was a tremendous success for Roswell Park cancer research. So, I mean, that was something personal because my mom suffered from skin cancer for a number of years, among other health issues. So, that's just how, that's how amazing you think, oh, a bunch of guys talking on YouTube about toys, what is that? No, it's your friends, it's your brothers, and that's what I get out of it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I have, we all have our friends that aren't YouTubers, basically.
Yeah.
But for me, like all my friends that I should say had, not have, they all became very toxic and, got way too political and just certain things that just did not fit right for me. I'm just like, okay, I got to get away from all this negativity. Like I said, I just don't handle negativity very well because it just brings me down and it just gets me in a state where I don't want to leave my house. I don't want to do anything. So I just was like, okay, I'm just going to start, telling people like, hey, man, I'm going to like, basically bow out and I'm going to go do my own thing. And if you want to support me, feel free to do it. If you don't, it's fine. So, I mean, one of my best friends, I rarely talk to, and we live in the same city. So that, having this community, I feel like I've just gained a whole bunch of best friends, and you guys are far away from me, and that's totally fine. But yeah, I feel like I can call you guys all brothers because, as we get further into this, I mean, we're all going to understand each other a little bit better. And like Cyborg, even though he's not on right now, he knows like what I've done or what I've struggled with. And he's come out on actually a podcast and, brought up a few things that I had no idea about. And I was like, oh, wow. So we talked afterwards and I was like, I'm very happy that you were able to share that because I had no idea. And so, yeah, it's crazy the amount of people you can meet through this, good or bad. And, for the most part, I've had very positive, I guess, stuff to say about this experience so far. Everyone that's on here, you all obviously got chosen for a reason because I trust you guys. There's some people in this community I don't already, and I haven't been doing this for very long, but you guys I trust. So, thank you very much. So that's all I'm saying. But yeah, we're going to bring on Mr. Sleeping himself now.
Crap. Okay. So I don't know how to start this. This is weird for me. Like a lot of you guys, like I just don't talk about this kind of stuff ever. Like ever. Like it's just not my thing. But like all of you guys, some stuff going on, like all of us really. We all have our things. My biggest things and kind of what I wanted to talk about a little bit is that I have bipolar depression and I have pretty heavy anxiety as well. And I think a lot of it stems from my childhood. Like I said, like my parents and I, like we grew up dirt poor. Like I was a family of 6. Me, my brothers, my sisters, my mom, my dad. We were all there, but we just didn't have anything. So like as we grew up, we kind of learned to like survive without having a lot of stuff. There were a lot of nights we had like SpaghettiOs for dinner or like cold cereal. Like there just wasn't much going on. And then when I turned 15, they left. My dad got sick and they had to move south because the weather was better in the south, and the cold here in Maryland like messed him up a little bit, like hurt his back, hurt his legs. So they gave me the option. They're like, hey, we're moving down south to the beach. We're going to move in with your aunt. You can come with us or you can stay here. And I'm like a junior in high school. I'm like, I don't want to leave my friends. I'll stay here. So I ended up like couch surfing for a while and living with girlfriends and just kind of like hustling to survive and like making my own way through life. Like that's what you have to do. So like a lot of it, I think, comes from that. Like I have abandonment issues and stuff like that. Like I was all alone at 15 in high school, like living by myself. I didn't really have a home, just kind of bouncing around a little bit, saving whatever money I could, and just kind of trying to build a life that way. And I did. I think I've done a pretty good job building my own life. But through the years, like I've kind of developed some bipolar depression. Like I'll have days where I don't get out of bed. I don't want to do things at all. I have a hard time cleaning. Like my toy room right now, I've got just piles of stuff everywhere. I need to sit and organize, but it's just hard to like get motivated. I lack that motivation to do that a lot of times. Like I'll sit here and like I won't even watch TV or do anything. I'll just doom scroll on my phone and just not do anything. And it's very difficult to get up and get moving and get that kind of stuff done. And I get this anxiety about it. Like I look at it and it's just too much sometimes. And I think that like follows me in most of my life. Like when I started YouTube, I don't want to get off on like a super big tangent here. So I started YouTube back when the pandemic first started. I was just kind of working my job, doing nothing. I've always been into toys. I've always bought toys. I've always had them. And I used to go to Target and Toys R Us all the time and buy things and enjoy it with my friends, but I never recorded. And then I saw Ethan Page and I saw Rocco the Great and I saw Seth, What's Poppin' film. And I was like, I can do that. I think I'm funnier than some of those guys. I think I'm going to try that just to see if I can do it. So I did it. And I did not, in my wildest dreams, expect to ever be successful at it. Like, it's me at Target talking about Batman. Nobody wants to watch that. Like, it was just for me, just kind of like seeing what would happen. And then the first month I had 500 subs. The second month I had 1,000. Now I'm a year and I have 5,000 subs. And like, it just blows me away. And with that has come with this amazing community. And then I started doing TikTok. And in the first month, I had 10,000 follows. The second month, I had 30,000 follows. I've been on TikTok for a year now, and I have 50,000 followers. It blows my mind that anybody cares about what I think about Batman or AEW. Like, it's just wild to me. But with that comes the agitation to my anxiety and my bipolar depression. The bigger my channels seem to get, the more stressed out they make me at times. And like there's times where I completely shut down. Like I'll have in my Instagram inbox right now, I have 112 unanswered messages from people. Like I just cannot bring myself to open messages because I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to answer people. And it's not that I don't like them. I enjoy everybody. Like people have been relatively good to me. It's just, it's the old spoon theory. If you have 3 spoons and you do 3 things, you use a spoon for each one of those things. I have no more spoons for anyone else. Like I don't have it in me. I don't. And I like everybody. I love everybody. And a lot like Dave said above, like I have this amazing community over at my channel. Like if I do a live stream, I'll get 90 people on my live stream. And it's such a fun and energetic time. But that's also 90 people who count on me to bring joy into their life, who enjoy the community that I bring. And that's a lot of pressure for me sometimes, especially on those days where I don't feel motivated to do anything. Like when I'm struggling myself and I'm just not mentally available to have 4 or 5 people messaging me at a time. Like, hey, are we doing a live stream tonight? What's going on tonight? Are we hanging out? I'm just like, oh, I kind of just want to watch the new Elvis movie and have a beer or 2. Like, I'm not really into this right now. And it's just weird because you almost have to separate the sleeping collectibles versus John. Like there's 2 separate people there and everybody just kind of sees sleeping. They don't see that there's a person behind sleeping sometimes. And I think it just builds and adds on to that stress and anxiety. I had an issue last year, actually, with one of my subscribers, someone I thought was a really good friend. I went south to North Carolina to hang out with my guys. Me and my guy friends go down to the Carolinas every year to fish and to have some drinks and just hang out on the beach and just be dudes. And one of my subscribers lives down there. And he messaged me out of the blue. He's like, "Hey, you're in my neighborhood and you didn't come see me. What's going on with that?" And I'm like, no, this is just like a bro trip. I'm not doing toy things. And like he ended up unsubscribing, canceling his channel membership, and like talking about me to a bunch of people. And I'm just like, dude, like, I'm not going to drive 2 hours out of my way to visit you. I'm here to have fun with my guys. Like, what are you doing? And it turned into like this high school thing. And sleeping's gotten too big. 5,000 subscribers, can't hang out with his friends. And I'm just like, dude, like, what is this right now? And it kind of builds up on everything. And like, there'll be entire weeks where I don't check my Instagram at all. So if like any of you dudes send me a message and I don't read it, I'll get to it eventually. But there's 112 people in front of you right now. I gotta work on that first. So it's one of those things. And like the bigger your channel gets and the more eyes get on you, the more criticisms you get, the more negativity you get, which builds into the depression sometimes. Sometimes I'll do like sale posts. I do this thing where I'll buy a bunch of toys and I'll look at them and be like, I don't really want that anymore. I think I want to sell it and get something else. So I'll have dudes messaging me like, "Why are you selling this? Don't buy it in the first place. I can't watch your videos? You're not a Batman collector?" Like, dude, it's my money. I'll do what I want. Like, buy it or go away. What are you doing? But like, I get that all the time. One dude messaged me the other week because I was selling some statues, and he was just like, "Why don't you use that money to buy your daughter toys for once?" And I was like, "Whoa, settle down there, Captain." Like I have kids. Like I support a family as well, and I don't think people separate sleeping from John as a person. And it gets, I don't know. That's where I am, boys.
No, I mean, I totally get it. I mean, yeah, 5,000 subs. You're gonna have a lot of eyes on you. I mean, I barely have not even 200, and I already have people saying shit, and it's just like, okay, cool. So I just leave all the comments. I don't care. Leave them up. I leave them up in my. Most people delete them. And like Darth Blaze, he went back and forth with a guy, and I messaged him. I was like, dude, don't even interact. It's pointless. I don't care. I'm leaving this up for other people to read and be like, dude, why is this guy being such a douche? And it doesn't matter how big or small your channel is, you're going to get hate no matter what. I get stuff all the time, messages all the time. And I have learned to not answer every single one of them anymore, because the more and more I answer, the more stressed out I get. So I totally feel you.
The best advice I've ever gotten in YouTube was from a really, really small channel. I think they only had like 5 subscribers at the time. And his name was Char. He's a Canadian YouTuber. He does shoe stuff. He's only got 5 subscribers. He's really funny to watch. He told me once that he gets so many hate messages because people don't like his opinions on stuff. All interaction is good interaction on YouTube, whether it be a thumbs up, a thumbs down, a comment, a not comment. It all helps that algorithm, and nobody understands that algorithm. But if people are paying attention in a good or bad way, it's still good. All press is good press when it comes to YouTube. It's all forward.
100% agree. That's why I'm just like, nope. I just leave those comments up. I don't care. I mean, I want other people to read them, like, that makes them just look like a bunch of fools, basically. So, whatever. It is what it is, and I just continue doing my thing, and I don't really try to not worry about the outside world of what they think or like what they want to say. So I'm just doing me. Just like Sleeping, you gave me advice, just do what you like and collect what you want. And I've heard that from a few people, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care what people think of what I collect or what I have. It doesn't matter. Like, I enjoy it. I do this for a reason, and here we are. Mr. Colin.
Oh, I got butterflies today. First off, my heart goes out to Josie. I couldn't imagine losing my son. Happy to be here talking to you guys. Thank you, Carlos, for having me. And at first, I didn't even know if I wanted to do it, because I try to keep this separate from my YouTube channel, worried about people look at me or whatever. But anyways, I've had depression, anxiety probably since early high school. Like most of you, I've always tried to deal with it on my own or just hide it, which ended up leading to drinking and then drugs, and it's been a roller coaster of a life because of that. But that's when it decided that, I have issues, I need help, and everything got good for a while. It's kind of hard, but
It's okay, man.
and then I lost someone who was a brother to me, someone like my family. Actually, we had planned on starting a YouTube channel, and that's what actually just once we lost him, that's what made me decide to actually start this channel. Damn, I kind of had something prepared for you guys, but now it's like I'm all gone. I don't know, like it's surprising how relatable I am with a lot of you, and I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna leave it there for now. I don't know where I want to go with this.
No, you're good, man. It's all good. That's what
I'm happy to be here with you.
Yeah, I appreciate you wanting to do it. Yeah, this is a safe space. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be on YouTube, but the whole goal is hopefully by doing this that we can, reach, even if it's one person. I think that's success.
I hate to unmute my mic real quick, but I didn't I really didn't have anything to I'm actually making notes of things, but yeah, man, I didn't have anything prepared either. But Colin, I don't know, man. I just felt like I guess it's like you said just a second ago, Carlos. This is speak from the heart, man. This is kind of it's a safe space, man. It's I feel the same way, man. It was I didn't have anything really prepared, so I was just I'm just gonna kind of wing it, speak from the heart, and like I said, I'm just kind of making notes or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know why I chimed in on that, but I feel you, man. I was kind of in the same boat. I'm just gonna leave it as is, and then we'll just kind of pick up as we go. That's how I felt. So, mad props to all you guys for opening up. By the way, man.
I really hope that people see this and it'll make them, not deal with it on their own, and because dealing with it on your own and hiding it for all those years really, like I said, made my life a roller coaster up and down, and you never know what's going to happen and where it's going to send you. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that.
Can I chime in for 1 second too? I forgot to say this when I was talking earlier, but if one family sees what I went through, my family went through, and it could help them, sister, brother, mother, father, son, whatever is going through something like that, and they're not opening up and letting anybody know, I hope some of the warning signs people will notice more than I did. To be honest, I didn't really notice the mood swings that he was going through and the up and downs, and he was 21, so it's like he wasn't here all the time, so I didn't really know a whole lot of things going on. So I guess I'm just saying, if you see somebody struggling and maybe the signs are there, maybe it can help one more person. I hope at least one more person, hopefully more. But yeah, I just wanted to chime in and say that hopefully somebody will see it and, hey, maybe this guy or this person's going through something. Now I'm picking up on it. So hopefully that happens and help somebody somewhere. Thanks.
Yeah, Joe, you're right. I mean, there's always warning signs. We're all busy in our lives. We're not always paying attention to our, kids or family members all the time. So, I mean, there's plenty of things that, as I grew up, that I think my parents probably should have picked up on. But my dad worked for the railroad, so he was gone a lot. My mom worked, trying trying to remember, school. So she was gone, and it was just me coming home by myself a lot, or my older sister was home. So yeah, there's definitely warning signs. There's all kinds of things that you can pick up on. It just, as we get busier in life, we're not paying attention to everything, and that's the hard part. Especially as a father with children, when you have children, it's, you know, the focus is on them, and, you know, trying to make them happy, make sure they're, you know, going to bed on time, brushing their teeth, eating right, going to school, stuff like that. And then the other things are just like, when I get home, I kind of like want to decompress from my day. And but, you know, as my kids are getting older, I'm trying to spend more and more time with them, because I think back to when I was a kid, and my dad and mom didn't spend a lot of time with me or my sisters. And my best friend's family was like my adopted parents. I spent all summers with them. I went camping with them. I did all kinds of stuff with them, not my own parents. So yeah, it's there's always definitely warning signs. So always pick up on those. Dre.
Thank you, gentlemen. And Joe, like I have a son who's 16, and I understand. You know, I've lost friends due to suicide. So my wife actually lost her brother at 16 to suicide. So it's something that I can definitely understand where you're coming from. I guess for me, it would start probably, like we all said, through childhood. But you know, being a kid that was the only child, and then my parents, you know, my dad cheated and he split on my mom and I, and then it was me just kind of being there, you know, by myself, and then eventually, well, you know, I had to sleep on my grandparents' couch, and my mom was on a cot, you know, and I had this huge room of toys, because, you know, when you're a kid and you're the only kid in your house, you got spoiled, you know, and I had all these toys and all this stuff, and stuff doesn't really, when you're a kid, stuff is great, but as an adult, you realize stuff is, like George Carlin says, there's stuff and there's shit. You know, there's stuff is good, but it's still just shit. You need stuff like air, food. Shit is like there, you know, but it's my stuff, but it's other people's shit, you know. As I got older, you know, my dad was not the color of great parentage. You know, my dad was an absentee dad from age 11 till he died about eight 8 years ago. And I actually was not sad that he passed, because what it did was my dad's side of the family, where I had all my siblings he had from other relationships, came back into my life. And that actually was a cool thing, because my little brother and I were about 13 years apart, but we are very much alike in personality. And that helped, because at that time, my mom had died. And, you know, I was in North Carolina. I had, you know, moved my whole life to take care of my mom. She died, and my world was over. You know, I had no place to live. I had a friend that took me in, thank God. And the woman I was dating broke up with me, and she broke up with me 2 weeks before my mom died. I later married that woman and made a big mistake, because she cheated on me, and, you know, got to the point where I was ready to just end my whole life, because I was just like, how could my life get any worse? I lost my mom. This girl that broke up with me right before mom died came back into my life, loved me, married me. 14 months, not even 10 months later, leaves. And I was kind of floating in this limbo of like, what do I do with life? 5 years ago, I decided to go into YouTube. Actually, it'd be 6 years going into next year. I was like, I need to do something. I watch all these people on YouTube much like Sleeping said, I think I'm pretty funny. I'll try it. And it helped. It was like he said, it was like very much like therapy. You know, I sucked. I won't lie. My first like 8 videos are terrible. If you ever rewatch any of my old stuff, it is hilarious because I'm so deadpan and it's so not who I am. But it's like, you know, like much like, you know, Sleeping said, it's like your personality. You're trying to figure out where your personality goes. And it became Dre, which now, as the evolution of who I am, you know, it's who I am. I'm the same way off camera as I am on camera. Anybody that knows me knows that you get what I am. I don't have a personality different. You know, I like to be real. Fast forward to 2017, I met somebody, a teacher at the school I was, a training I went to, and I was talking about graphic novels in the classroom. And she was younger than me. I mean, like I'm 44 now, so I was 40 and she was 27, and we just instantly had chemistry, and it was like a whirlwind. Like I felt head over heels for her, and she was coming out of a bad relationship, but she was like really into me. Mind you, my wife currently was my friend and was watching me go through this downward spiral of just shit. And I was like, oh God, like, you know, she saw me. I went from 190 pounds to 150 pounds, drinking myself, medicating myself, and just literally could not find happiness unless it was at the bottom of a bottle. And then one day, the girl I was with broke up with me, and I was in the car driving, and I said to myself in a very loud, audible voice, if I were to drive off a cliff, who would miss me? That was my wake up call. Now, mind you, I was still doing YouTube at the time, buying toys and doing everything, but that was not fulfilling the emptiness in me. And I called my now wife, and I called my sister, and I went to my sister's house here in North Carolina, and I just cried for 4 hours. I was just like, dude, I don't want to be here anymore. And I was just a wreck. I was like, I'm not happy. I just don't want to be here. And she was like, Dre, I can't. You need to be here. You know, I don't know why. I'm not going to argue with you to tell you all the reasons you know the reasons you should be here. And you know, there's something very humble about a lot of what you gentlemen have said, and I respect every single one of you guys. No bullshit. I think we all are told as men to hold it in. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna cry. It's who I am. You know, I don't want to hide my emotions. And I sat there when you really are questioning your existence. That was enough for me to say I need help. And I went to for the first time in my life, I went to my doctor and I had to fill out paperwork, and it was very humbling to go to my doctor and like have to like fill out forms. Like, you know, like I was not safe at home. I thought about killing myself. And people really don't like, you know, kids will say, "Oh, I wish I was dead." You don't really realize the gravity of those words till you're at the precipice yourself and thinking about it. And if it wasn't for my sister and my wife now, I wouldn't be here. And if you guys saw while I know that while we were talking, I had my little girl in my arms. She's 2 years old. That's one of the many benefits that I got to say I'm still here. You know, that I got a beautiful 12-year-old daughter that's my stepdaughter, but she's mine. I love her. That's my girl. I have my daughter Rory, who I love her to death, and that's my seed. That's mine. But she's a pistol. Drives me crazy, but that's my girl, you know. And I am blessed that I get to share my love of toys and comics with the two of them. And people always tell me, they're like, how do you share with your 2-year-old? I go to Target and I'll go just take her through the toy section. I don't have to film it. Just take her through there and see her face light up when she sees Bluey, Peppa Pig, Sesame Street, or when I take my daughter to the comic book store and my guys at my local shop know who we are. They know my whole family. And I then realized, once I shared what I love about this hobby, and it was explaining to my wife, because when we first started dating, she knew I was a YouTuber, but she didn't understand the gravity of what she was getting into. I was like, yeah, I collect toys. And she was like, nah. Then we moved in together and she's like, oh, damn, you really collect toys. And I was like, yep, sorry. It is what it is. But I told her, I said, hey, would you rather me be an alcoholic, a drug addict, a gambler, or buy toys? And when she made that realization, it was kind of funny, that she's like, I'd rather have you be who you are, And yeah, I think I'm gonna leave my story there. I just want to say, I'm not a cautionary tale. I would like to believe more that I am a person that wants to guide people. As a teacher, I've been a mentor. I'm a brother, an older brother, a younger brother. I'm a father. I am a son. So, and I'm a best friend. So T3 knows I've reached out to him. He has my number personally. If after this, and I'm not saying this just for YouTube views, because I could give two diddly squats about the fucking algorithm. If any of you guys want my number, I will gladly give it to you. You guys need to talk, because one of the things this video, like Joe said, is if we reach one person and you listen to what we're saying from our hearts and it helps you in any way, shape, or form, then we did what we were supposed to do. But if I can help these guys on a daily basis by them knowing I'm here, because I check in with several of my friends every day because I worry about them. There are some of my friends that I worry about on the daily that need that affirmation that I check in with them. And some people are like, well, you don't know, they don't know you. That's true. Colin may not know me. John may not know me. Chris may not know me. Joe may not know me. Dave may not know me. But guess what? At the end of this, they'll have my number. I'll be there for them whenever they need me, because that's what you do. That's life. And at the end of the day, if I can help one of these guys, if they're having a rough day, like sleeping, I know there's days I dropped out of YouTube for months where I was just like, I don't care about the views, F the algorithm, I'm done. And then I was like, much like Robert De Niro said, they drag me and they pull me back in again. I get pulled right back in. It's like everybody's like, come on, Dre, come on, you can do it again. And I get pulled back into it. And, I get it. There are days that it's rough. But if I can get that one, that's all that matters. So that's my story. And Carlos, thank you. I appreciate you more than you know.
Dre, you just
Oh,
mentioned
thank-
something about checking in on people, man. And I shouted you out, or I built you up just a minute ago, Carlos, for putting this whole thing together. But dude, ever since we exchanged numbers, and I'm really bad about checking in on people. T3, bro, that's you sent me random messages. I just had shoulder surgery 2 weeks ago, and dude, you were sending me messages about that. You were just hey, what's going on? Hope you're doing well, and just like, not an Instagram message, just like I'd get a text, and I was like, dude, that shit right there means a lot, man, because when just the everyday hustle and bustle gets to you, and like, maybe you're caught up in your own head or whatever, and you just get that random text message, that's dude, that means a whole lot. So yeah, and likewise, I'll give you guys my number as well, man. You guys ever need a text or anything like that. But Carlos, that was I noticed that early on, bro, and I don't know, stuff like that, little gestures like that to let people know that, like, hey man, I'm thinking about you. Hey, you're on my mind. Like, just wanted to say what's up. One of those type of things, man. That helps. No matter where you're at, if you're having a good day, it makes it great. If you're having a bad day, it makes it good. Like, it knowing that someone, someone's thinking about you, man, no matter what the mood might be, or someone just wants to say, hey, Carlos, you've done that. Mad props to you for doing that. For some dude that you just met, I just hopped in on one of your videos one day, and then like we just kind of like clicked and kind of hit it off or whatever. So it's like I know all of us have this same thing, these figures that like kind of brought us together. But then it's like so much. It's funny, man. I can in one way or another, some people I can relate to certain things, it's with a little bit of everyone's story, some I can't at all. Like I said, Joe, my heart goes out to you, brother. You're the fact that you've gone on is you're I've just met you today. I can legitimately say you are one of the strongest people I've ever met, dude, because the fact that you can go on, that's dude, my hat's off to you, man, because and my heart goes out to you and your family, and I'll probably say it a million more times, that's you're a strong dude, brother. You're a strong dude. And yeah, man. Yeah, but the whole reaching out thing that you just mentioned, Dre, that was like I said, Carlos is you've been really cool about that, bro. And I appreciate that. It's one of those things that I feel like, I think we'll be buddies for a long time, man.
Facts, dude,
I hope so.
Dude, I believe in it 110%. I think that, my wife and my sister checked in on me every day. Like my wife actually, like I said, we were dating at the time, and I was like, I turned around and I told her, I was like, hey, can you? She's like, you can text me in the morning. So I'd call her every morning, and we worked at the same school. So I would drive to school in the morning and talk to her on the way while we're driving to work, and she would laugh because I'd get to school an hour before she would, and she was just like, just that talk in the morning would make my day fly through.
Yeah.
And it makes a damn difference. People don't realize that, like, Carlos, I reached out to you the other day when we were talking in the legacy chat, and I said, I texted him, messaged him, and then I was like, hey, here's my number, call me, because there are some times, like you just said, Chris, that shit, like, you could be having the best day ever. You could be at a Target and you found something that you were looking for, and you'd be like, man, and then like be like, oh man, Dre just said what's up. Oh, it's dope. Or like you could be like, oh man, like I'm having a shit day, and it's like, hey, are you all right, bro? And then like that sparks a conversation that can lead into something better. Right. So what I think everybody should do, and I think that they always say, oh well, women are like that. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm Puerto Rican, Black, and Arab. All three very, very big races on the whole idea of men. Nah, I'm very pro. I can be very emotional, and I need my dudes to be there just as much as women need their females to be there. That's a people thing. We need our people to care about each other.
I'd like to add in too, once I, got better, sober, and going to counseling and all that, it kind of left me there by myself, and cut all the bad out of your life and dealing with the depression and anxiety. Well, like I said, I was standing there by myself. And one thing I didn't expect to come out of this YouTube thing is like the whole friend family thing. Like, I never expected to be talking to Carlos in the regular, like the other day I was debating on saving my backups. I'd talk to him about it, like I never expected to. I have someone I keep in touch in Denver all the time, like never would have expected that out of this. And I don't know, it does a lot of good for you. At least it does for me. So,
but I don't know if anyone ever watches BoJack Horseman, but if anyone's ever watched BoJack Horseman, anyone that's watching this video and you've never dealt with like you've never dealt with depression to any level, no matter how severe, how minor it may be to you, or anxiety or self-loathing or those are things that I struggle with a lot. It's totally different. I mean, it's one of the greatest shows I've ever seen ever. But man, they get really deep on shit, and they encompass like depression and anxiety, especially self-loathing, in a way that I've never seen ever expressed on like whether it's been movies or TV or anything like that. It's super funny, it's super entertaining, but man, deep down they cut deep on some things. But if anyone's ever if you've never seen it and you want to look into a glimpse of maybe what self-loathing, that's one thing I deal with a lot is real low self-esteem, real low self-loathing and self-doubt. Constant. I remember when a long time ago, I apologize for things that are completely out of my control, and it just goes to like some of my self doubt and things along those lines. And I constantly apologize, and I remember someone told me like, "Dude, you got to stop apologizing. Like, why are you fucking always apologizing?" So on and so forth. And then I apologized for apologizing, and then I was like, Jesus Christ, like it's an endless cycle. But it's if you don't know what it is to like have all that self-doubt or have self-loathing or depression, things along those lines, like watch some BoJack Horseman, because like dude, they that's been one of the greatest like examples of like putting it out there that it's like holy shit, like here I am thinking like, oh, maybe I'm the only one. This crazy horse from the a 90s sitcom like goes through it too, but it just expressed in a way that like makes it maybe relatable for some people. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen it or not. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I have, and that was a very good description of it.
Yeah, man. It's pretty crazy. One of my notes that I've been taking while talking to hearing you gentlemen out. So
Dre and Chris, yes, everything you said, spot on. So for me, because I haven't really said really much about myself, because I just don't do that. I don't focus on myself ever. I'm focusing on everyone else. So for me, I'll kind of do this in a short amount of time for myself. So back in 2017, I lost my job. I had worked at for 7 years, and I thought I was going to pretty much retire from that job. So like, I'm trying to think, 3 weeks prior to losing my job, I was promoted. 3 weeks later, I was out of a job. So I took it very, very hard, because prior to that job, I worked for Circuit City for a long, long time, almost 10 years. They went belly up, and then I didn't know what I was going to do from there. But luckily, the job I went to after that, luckily I knew a couple people and got that job. And then I was like, okay, I'm set. I'm going to be here forever. I'm not going anywhere. And I did a lot of moving around because of jobs and personal stuff. And then when I lost that job, I didn't know what was going to happen. I went into this like audible world where I was just kind of like there, like my shell was there, and then I was just floating somewhere else, because I felt lost basically. I was just like, okay, I have a wife, I have these kids, and I don't know how to be a dad at this moment, because inside I was breaking down, and I was trying to put on this, the happy dad, the do everything husband thing, and internally I was just like falling apart, and I wasn't showing it. And when I was younger, I was I can't even think now. I was diagnosed with depression, so I was, my mom was very hard on like, make sure you take your medication. And I think that was like 10 or 11. And I took those pills for a long time, and those pills made me worse. To be honest, they did not help. They just kept making me more depressed. And I just finally just stopped taking cold turkey, just done. And my mom was just like, are you not taking your pills? I'm like, yeah, I'm taking them. Just like I'm opening up and putting them up because I just don't want to swallow them anymore. And then as I got older, I just dealt with my stuff my own way. And a lot of that was collecting, getting into more, well, I shouldn't say trouble, but started drinking, hanging out with a bunch of dudes that probably shouldn't have. And then, so 2017, that's when everything changed for me. My kids were gone. Like, I think they're at school when my wife was at work, and I don't know what it was, but I don't know what it got me to that dark point. But I went and hung myself, and I everything's changed from that point on. What happened, and I feel like why I survived, and it sounds so weird, is as I did that, my dog was barking because someone knocked on my door, and it just the dog barking just drove me insane, and it just like I snapped out of it, and I was just like, what? And I went and opened the door, and it was UPS dropping off packages, and I just act like nothing had happened, and that's literally what changed. That instance of my dog barking woke me up, because I was probably going to be dying any second. And it just, that annoying thing woke me up to get up and just go and open the door and, bring these packages in. And I just sat on my couch and I just was like reflecting, like, what am I doing with my life? And from that point on, I went and, I was just sat there crying, because I was just like, what am I doing? I have kids. I gotta, all this shit and emotions started pouring through, and I was like, I need help. I didn't reach out to my family. I didn't tell anybody. I just went and did it. I just went and got help, and obviously that help did me good. And I was just like, okay, what's my purpose in life besides being a father and a husband? And I think we all think that, what's our purpose in life? We don't know, but I feel like because of that experience, mental health became a huge issue for me, because I was just like, okay, I'm suffering all this stuff and I'm not dealing with it. And now I'm dealing with it. My younger sister tried to kill herself over a dude because he was being mentally abusive to her. So I was there for her, and not realizing that I had my own shit that I was never dealing with. And my younger sister and I are pretty close now because of that. And it was just lucky that I showed up to my parents' house that day. Because if I didn't, I don't think she would have been alive. So there's just a lot of like stuff like that, like my childhood, kind of how I mentioned. There's just all kinds of stuff, negativity, a lot of religious stuff that I just don't deal with now anymore. I think that's a lot of reason why I don't have a good relationship with my mom, because I feel like that religion is very negative on a lot of things that I enjoy. So I just remember my grandma always telling me, because I was a huge into Master Universe, she's like, that's the devil's toys. I don't want those in my house. They all look demonic. Everything you like's demonic. And it just like consistently, as I was growing up, I always heard the devil, everything you're into is demonic. And I didn't really think about it until I went to therapy. And that's like, all these things started coming up, and I was just like, holy shit. I didn't realize I was, bearing that all deep down for so long. And, now I get to share like collecting with my son. He collects Funko Pops, Legos, and Transformers. So for me, it's just, that's what I like enjoy doing with him. He has, he does his own thing. He's like, he thinks this is me doing stuff like this is like cringe, and I'm like, whatever, man. Like, this is my thing. I enjoy it. I'm like, there's other dudes like me, and it's funny because he watched Sleeping. He watches Dave. He watches Colin. He watches Chris. He watches Dre. Not because of me, but he slowly started like paying attention to everyone else. And he follows Cyborg. He follows No One Collects. So it's just funny how the stuff that I started doing, he started to get more into it. Because I remember when he was young, he used to watch a bunch of, I don't even know, younger kids that do unboxings, toy unboxings with their parents. And he was like, I want to be a YouTuber. So here I am doing it. And he's like, doesn't ever want to be on camera. And I'm like, if you ever want to be a YouTuber, you just have to put yourself out there. And I don't like being in front of the camera, but I just was like, I'm going to do it. I don't care. Like, Sleeping was just like, just do what you want. Don't be afraid of doing it. And I've been doing it, and I'm like actually very comfortable doing this now. And that's kind of like why I brought Beastie into it, because he's the same way. He doesn't like to be on camera. I'm like, dude, you need to break out of your shell and like, put yourself out there. It's not going to hurt. Who cares? No one knows us. We live in California in a, no, far northern California where no one even knows the city. So who cares? And so he's doing it now, little by little. But yeah, so that's my story. That's a lot of the reason why I wanted to do this is I want, it's like everyone else said, if it just reaches one person, success has been made. So anyway.
Dude, you mentioned your kid and like kind of, you know, getting into the videos and unboxing and stuff like that. That's one thing. I remember my daughter, she was real early on. She would just take her camera out and we would make YouTube videos well before I had a channel or whatever. And yeah, now that, you know, past couple years that I've had a YouTube channel, she's I'll be like, hey, you know, you're gonna go ahead and like, you know, you're gonna go watch my video, like, you know, just talking shit, like just playing around. And she's like, oh yeah, did you get a thumbs down? That was me. And I was like, how dare you, dude? You know, I'm like, all right, you got me. She has a good sense of humor, but she's gone on some of the hunts with me. And it's just fun to, like, you know, kind of share that aspect with her, I guess. And so Joe, you mentioned, you know, about you and your son would go out and hunt together and collect together and things like that. And that when you were saying that, man, yeah, man, my heart was breaking for you because, like I said, it's one thing, you know, my daughter doesn't get into it as much, but you know, she has her own thing. She gets into a couple Funko Pops and, you know, very selective about this and that. But it is kind of cool to, you know, be able to share that hobby with someone and you know, do that. You know, go from, like I said, my daughter would much rather watch anyone else but me, maybe because it's dad. I don't know. And it's cool. I guess that just, you know, that's just the way it goes with that stuff. But yeah, you know, a lot of people were talking about when they got started with YouTube and sleeping. I think you were saying that you got started during the pandemic, watching other people, and that's what I did, man. Like, I actually, right at the beginning of the pandemic, I started a new career. I went through, I guess, a midlife crisis in a way, and changed, left a 20-year advertising career and got into nursing. I'm a registered nurse now, and so I was in the ER, and we were talking kind of before all this started, how you know, I've seen you know, some whether it's people on drugs or seeing, you know, anxiety to the point where, you know, they can barely get a sentence out, where to suicidal or homicidal ideations. You know, I saw a lot early on in my, you know, new career at in nursing, and it just really opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. But I don't know. It's early on into the pandemic, I ended up getting COVID, and I was out for like a month. I would think I was feeling better, and then I would just get hit with, like, you know, more fevers, and then it'd be like, you know, I was stuck in a basement for like a month because I wanted to be separated from everyone. I didn't want to get anyone else sick, and it was just crazy. But somehow, like, I was on YouTube just like in one of the few minutes that I would be awake for, you know, because I slept 20 some hours because I just felt miserable. And I stumbled upon OG and Seth. And I had the pleasure of, actually, about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I went on a hunt with Seth while I was down in Florida. He lives right down the road from where my pops lives. And I was visiting my pops, and I got a hold of him, and you know, we were able to go on a hunt together. And that was pretty dope because he was the one that, like, inspired me to do this. Because it was kind of like what you were, I think it was you, Dre, that was saying that, like, you know, you saw these people do this, and you're like, hey man, I already do this as is, or, you know, maybe it was sleeping, but like, I go out to Targets, I go to Walmarts. I don't know how funny I am, man. Just whatever, man. But I'm just like, you know, yeah, let me give this a shot. And yeah, my early videos, I don't know, you watched, maybe my last video is probably pretty cringeworthy, but my early videos, oh my God, I'm over here like, I almost thought about like deleting them, but I was like, no, man, let's leave that trash on there just because, man. It's, you know, if nothing else. Maybe people get a laugh out of that crap. But
Oh, you have to leave those old videos up.
Oh,
They're the best.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's like just going on and on and on. I try to really compile or cut mine down. Take a lot of my ums and uhs out. And it's very choppy. It's very like, if you have ADD, like my videos are pretty good for that because it's like boom, 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 boom. Whereas my first ones is just long and drawn out, and it just like, I don't know, it's whatever. But yeah, Seth and OG, they were the ones that like I started watching them, and I was like, I remember I was like probably in, I don't know, some drug-induced haze because I was just so febrile, or maybe it was a fever dream or something. But I remember waking up and seeing that, and I was like, what the fuck's this? And I just continued to watch it, and I was just like, yeah, man, this is all right. And I already collected as is, and I was like, let's give this a shot. So I don't know. So like, you know, those are the guys that inspired me to get this thing started. And then like all you gentlemen, like just talking about, you know, this heavy ass topic, it's like you guys are just inspiring me to, I don't know, just live life as far as, you know, just in general now, like to persevere and everything. So, you know, that's, you know, mad props to you guys, man. Much respect, much love to you guys.
Well, I wanted to touch on the religion aspect. I think religion can play, like we grew up, I grew up Roman Catholic, didn't have a choice, you know, and there's certain things about the church that I questioned as I got older. When I was in high school, I questioned religion. And, you know, you get that pressure from family. It's like, well, this is kind of like this is how the family is. This is how things are. And, you know, sometimes that can make you question, like, well, is there something wrong with me because I'm questioning this? You know, what, like growing up in families, you know, like you were saying, like, you know, we're men, and we're kind of like given this kind of, okay, you got to be tough. You have to do this. You have to do that. And if you kind of step out of that, you're questioning yourself, like, well, is there something wrong with me? You know, I mean, I was confirmed Catholic because that's how my family was. I am not practicing Catholic at all. If you're Catholic, you know, that's your religion, your choice, and more power to you. I'm not putting the faith down itself, but that wasn't who I am. There's a lot of things that I just don't agree with, and that's just me personally. It's just like sports. You know, we're not supposed to talk about sports, religion, you know, those certain topics. But you know what? To me, it wasn't who I was. You know, I had an uncle who, when he came back from Vietnam, he hadn't stepped a foot in the church since then. Sometimes we go through life experiences that make us question what everyone around us believes in. And sometimes that can cause massive stress. I mean, I've had so much stress now when I was in high school. And it made me question everything, you know. Sometimes when you're questioning everything, you question yourself too. And there's so many times, like I just said, like I would ask myself, is something wrong with me because I think this way? Is something wrong with me because I'm asking questions? Why don't I just accept it? And I think when you just accept it and you go with the status quo, I think you're kind of damning yourself in a certain extent. You know, if we were all the same way, if we all conformed to what we were told, you know, if we were all the same, the world would be pretty damn boring. You know, we wouldn't have opinions if we all did the same thing. And I think that is, I mean, to me, that's something tremendous right there. You know, and I just wanted to kind of like touch on the whole religion thing because that was something pretty strong for me. You know, like stress comes from everything. Stress can come from the bills, can come from your job, can come from hell, toy hunting. Do I want this guy? Do I want this guy? You know, it's like, you know, there's different, you know, it's just everything has its own, stress can arise from everything.
I've been scouring the every damn Walmart around to find a AEW CM Punk. That has stressed me out, brother. So
Join the
there he goes.
damn.
There he goes. But I mean, like, we get stressed from everything.
Mhm.
I mean, those of us who have girlfriends or significant others, where do you want to go to dinner? I don't care. You know, it's like she's like, well, where do you want to go? What do you feel like? I don't let. I could do anything. Just go ahead, pick. I mean, we get stressed from every little minute little thing, or like earlier, you know, there was talk about, you know, like when growing a channel. Okay, maybe you get 50 subscribers, you get 100, you get so and so and so and so. It's kind of hard to follow every single one of those people to catch every single one of those videos. Sometimes you feel bad in a way, like, am I being a genuine person? Am I being a friend to this person? And I missed their video. You can't catch every video. Sometimes I stress over trying to catch everyone's videos. You know, you just have to try and find a balance to everything and hope that maybe they understand if you don't comment on every single video. You know, that's just how I'm looking at it. And honestly, the whole YouTube thing, I look at this as the next generation public access. Those who remember public access back in the day, anybody could have a show on public access, right? You know, think Wayne's World. You know, I'm like, you know, when I was, because I'm 43, I'm going to be 44. I grew up watching local public access. We had this weird show called Thunderbird Theater. It was these two guys in ski masks, and they would just talk about random stuff every left and right. And I always thought that was, oh, that's pretty cool. And then, of course, Wayne's World, the whole Wayne's World craze. I'm like, okay, yeah, that'd be cool to have my own show someday. And, you know, then me wanting to goof off, trying to, you know, do some mod prop on a, you know, Spirit Halloween Ghost Trap turned into, I mean, so much more. I mean, I got a freaking proton pack right here. You know, it's, you know, did I think I would have a channel called Dave's Dimension? No. Did I think I would do charity streams or be involved with everything that I've been into? No. But, you know, it's mind-blowing because I'm sitting at 629 subscribers after 2.5 years. I never thought I'd hit 100 subscribers or 150. But for some reason, some people find some kind of appreciation to it. And one thing I got to check off my bucket list is running into one of my YouTube brothers, meeting one of them in person. That bearded guy right below me. Ran into him. So it was. I'm hoping to do more, like meet more of our YouTube brethren and sisters out there. You know, it's cool to kind of like you see these people on your screen, and now you get to meet them in person. You know, it's just kind of cool to meet your brothers and your sisters and meet this extended family you have. You know,
it is neat, man. Carlos, you said, I know you're from California.
Yeah.
Sleeping, you said you're from Maryland. What part of Maryland are you from, dude?
Panhandle, Maryland, like the mountains. I'm at that weird border where like West Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania connect.
Oh yeah.
I can go 10 minutes north or 10 minutes south and be in a completely different state.
Yeah, I'm originally from Montgomery County, actually. So
it's like 2 hours from me.
Yeah,
Joe's really close to me too. Joe's only a couple hours away as well.
Oh, really? Right on, man. All right, in Maryland. I was going to ask, where is everyone from? Where's everyone from?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, right on.
If you guys can tell by my southern drawl, you know, I'm from North Carolina, but originally by way of New York. So I'm a Yankee transplant.
Right.
New York, where?
I grew up in the Bronx.
Okay, right in the city.
I'm a Yankees fan by default. You know, I'm a Giants fan by default. That's what I had to grow up with. I didn't have a choice. You know. But I moved down here. 13 years ago. Right. So I've kind of like adapted to life down south. So yeah, I like it. I like it.
Where are you from, Joe?
Maryland.
You're from Maryland too.
Yep, Elton, Maryland.
Okay.
Originally Delaware. I moved here.
Delaware, right on.
Yeah. Actually, if I go out down the street about a mile. I'm in Delaware from where I'm at. So.
Oh wow.
wow.
Okay, right on, man. Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm near Frostburg, so I'm only like 2.5 hours from you, Joe. I'm not too far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
I
Right
mean,
on.
let's
Yeah, man.
Go out. On a hunt.
Yeah. Next
There
time
you
I
go.
come down, because I live in Indiana now, down by Louisville, Kentucky. So
Okay.
in like the freaking heart of the Midwest. Oh my God.
Okay.
Totally different than like
Cool.
Maryland, DC, man. But
Well,
Corn
Yeah.
country out there.
dude, it is, man. Legit. I go outside, I look to my right over there's cornfields there.
I drove to Chicago a
It's
couple
no
weeks
lie,
ago,
man.
and there was just corn for like 2 hours on both sides of me through Indiana and Illinois.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's the way it is, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well,
And like I said,
evidently, all the good shit goes to Sleeping's part of Maryland, not mine. I told him, I'm
Six
like,
people who live here. I have no
I'm sitting there,
competition.
I'm watching this video and I'm like, how the fuck did he find that? And then I'm messaging P3 like, hey, can you send me an Adam Page? Like, I don't even have that yet. Like, come
Everybody on this side of the state's too busy collecting like Confederate flags. They don't care about toys.
I don't see many people around here caring about that either. I mean, this is I don't know. It's just weird
Well,
that.
The funny thing is, I'm the farthest one away from everybody, and I live in California, and I
Right.
still can't find shit.
Bro, and what's crazy, it seems like it always hits, from what I've seen, it typically seems like it hits the West Coast and then works its way over. And
Southern
somehow,
California. and
It'll
then over.
always
Yep.
hit West Coast first because everybody. I will say this: living in North Carolina, I have several friends that live in Florida, and they are like, "Oh yeah, we could." They'll find it. Like Seth will find it. OG will maybe find it. You know. Then I start noticing like, you know, Carlos, like you'll send me a message and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, look what I saw." I'm like, "How the hell did he like?"
Right.
Like I'm gonna use an example. This I could not find this for the life of me. He was about to buy it, and then what did I do? I go into Target the next day, bang, found it. I was
Boom.
like, "Yay!" But I've noticed the same thing, and I live in Charlotte, so I get to deal with Kent Pool and Jetta and several other guys that are YouTubers like Man Cave that all kind of hang out in my area. And I'm like, you know what? If I can't find it, screw it. I'll just go online, order it.
well,
I don't need it right now. You know, I'll get FOMO. You know,
I
it's
don't
what
know
it
how a
is.
lot of you guys
Well-
deal with that, with having other collectors in your area. Like I have a hard time finding stuff where I am, and there's no one here.
right.
Yeah.
I watch
there
some
either.
of your guys' videos, especially the people in the Carolinas. There's like an
Yeah.
area of like Raleigh where there's like 15 toy YouTubers, and I'm like, how do you guys find anything?
well,
Or like California, like you'll see stuff that drops on the West Coast. Like I'll watch YouTube and I'll be like, oh my gosh, they got that new Star Wars wave. It's not even out over here, but there's 30 of them fighting over it.
Yeah.
So it'll be like each week it's a different one of them who gets the wave, and I'm like, this is wild.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Yeah, I see a lot of people, like a lot of the same collectors, but as far as like YouTubers or anything like that, like I don't know. I don't see that many in this area. There's someone in Louisville that he's a pretty big deal. I can't think of his name, but
Is it Knights of Ren?
no, he might be. I don't know who that is,
Because
but
Knights of Ren lives out in. I know there's Knights of Ren. You have Foxy for Real.
Yeah, they're the Josh Pence crowds in that area.
Yeah.
I think.
yeah, that's like the Ohio area and stuff
Yeah,
like
Yeah, that's
that.
the JP. That's the JP crew. And I've interviewed Josh Pence on my show, and I've had like Big Dub and asking them those same questions. Like, where,
Nicest guys I've met. Like, I
Amazing.
met them at ICCC, and
Yeah.
Big Dub bought my wife a lightsaber, and like we hung out with them for like the day. It was kind of cool.
Damn.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
good
I met,
people.
I met Sleeping at ICCC, Seth, OG. I talked
we
to
were all
Josh
there
Pence
together,
for
yeah.
yeah, I talked to Josh Pence for about a good hour, him and his wife,
Yeah.
and
Hell yeah, man.
awesome.
Hey, I'm
people.
going back there, Joe. Are you
Um,
going next year?
I think we are. See, my
Was that the
wife
one
went
in?
with
Was that the one in Nashville?
Yeah.
Nashville.
Yeah,
Me and
shit,
my
man.
wife
It's like
wanted to go
3
to
hours from
Nashville.
here.
Yeah, we wanted to go to
they
Nashville
wrote me
for a
the
few
other month
years.
and invited
Yeah.
me back down to, like with a press badge. So I'll be doing a show down there again. And they were just like,
Yeah.
yeah, bring whoever you want. Come on down.
Dude, I'll definitely go next time. Do you,
Yeah,
Colin? You do a lot of traveling, man?
I haven't, but I like to travel.
Yeah, man.
Usually,
Yeah.
I usually go like Colorado, Arizona area. I haven't made it out to the East Coast yet. I really want to.
Right on.
Come
Well,
visit,
sleeping.
brother.
I was gonna say sleeping is over there getting all the good shit. So like, you need to go on with him.
Hey,
It
East
sounds
Coast
like
isn't for you. That's mine. I got this.
well,
has that on
Yeah.
lockdown.
I have a little bit of a
I need to
different
go
problem.
west.
I have a little bit of a different problem where I am. I'm in Buffalo, New York. So it's not necessarily YouTubers. We get Canadian shoppers every weekend that hit up all the stores.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard any of the stories. Literally, you can go into a mall shopping parking lot, find bags of old clothes, because what they do is they'll wear like their worst crap, buy new clothes, toss the old stuff, leave it in just like in parking lots and bags, because that way they're wearing brand new stuff. They don't get hit up with the tax when they cross the bridge back over. We have about 3 or 4 different bridges that you can take to get over from the U.S. to Canada and vice versa. So it's not necessarily YouTube collectors, but it's people who collect toys, and we get a lot of people in my area who collect toys just personally. I have a buddy of mine. He has like 3 rooms in his house is all brand new box stuff that he just collects. And occasionally,
I don't know if you guys ever watch. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
No, I was just gonna say he does kind of like what Sleeping does. Like every now and again, he'll like, you know what, I need a kind of purse, so he'll start selling stuff off.
Yep.
He's not exactly trying to make like scalper prices, just trying to recoup what he has, maybe with a few bucks more. Can't blame him for that, for shipping and whatnot. But that's the thing. It's like we don't get like we have a couple Targets in our Targets. They are the worst. You talk about a NECA section, it looks like an end cap.
Listen, I don't know.
Yeah,
I've been to like the
man.
Winston-Salem area. Those Targets are bad.
But
They're
yeah,
like the worst I've ever seen.
I'll tell you something bad.
I'm up in Buffalo, New York. The only upside to that is I could just take maybe 45 minutes over the bridge, and I could stop at Toys R Us if I wanted to. But Toys R Us prices are going insanely up right now. I don't know if any of you guys follow Papa Gord. He's right up there in Canada, and like he even talks about the prices, and it's insane.
He works there now, and he gets a discount, and they're still more expensive than they are here.
Exactly.
I used to work at Toys R Us.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it was a problem though, because I would just buy everything.
I would have that problem.
Like now,
Yeah.
I only buy what I want, but when you're working there and you have the opportunity when it's coming in, it's just you buy it.
No,
It's like,
when I was in my 20s, I actually worked 19. I worked for Finish Line,
Ooh.
and I would be buying like Nike shirts, shorts, sneakers. It was a problem. Like I knew the inside and out of the sneakers. I'm like, okay, I want to get that. No, that was trouble. Half my paycheck was going to them.
Laura Legends, and I know she shops in Canada.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I follow, and I see some of the prices that she shows on there. I'm just like,
oh yeah,
and I know that's Canadian, but I'm just like, damn.
But
girl.
also, she comes across some nice bargain stuff too.
She does, dude. She gets She scores some great shit sometimes. So.
But that's another thing too. I've been seeing that a lot lately. A lot of guys like that have been shopping over in Canada are, their prices are so. And I know that, like we said, it's the Canadian, dollar to
the
ours.
exchange rate, yeah.
But I had to ship
Still
a collection up to Canada, and the guy was like, "Dude, can you just say it's worth only this?" Because he had to pay the tax at the border.
Yep.
And he couldn't get his package unless he paid the tax.
Jeez.
So
shit.
Yeah, like if you ship to Canada, they have to pay the import tax that based on what the value is. And if it's more than a certain value, they have to pay that, and then they get taxed on it again.
Yeah.
So I was like, oof.
But like me and my wife, we go. In fact, next month we're going to Michigan, but we go through Canada, because you drive up into Canada 4 hours, drop into Michigan.
That's not bad.
Right.
Okay, but you get hitting the border, right? So you kind of have to be careful if you do buy stuff, because then you're like, oh, do you have anything to declare? Well, no. So, but like sometimes they'll check you, and sometimes they'll just wave you off, especially if they look at your back and they just see a bunch of like clothing bag, like travel bags, and they might just wave you off and say go ahead. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, you really can't do too much toy hunting because there's a carload of bags. Oh, well, let's see what's going on here. But yeah, I mean, like Canada, it's like most of it is like you get the Toys R Us, and I mean, like the pricing, you're talking Marvel Legends for like $40-$45,
Yeah.
and we're complaining about 27 or 30. So I mean, it can be insane.
I don't know if
up
y'all
there.
have an FYE where you guys are at, but holy shit, man. I went there not that long ago. And
We have
man,
one
I
up
was
here.
like, if for those of you like watching this channel that like if you don't have depression, go to FYE and try to buy a Marvel Legend and you will quickly get it there, man, because it's fucking ridiculous. It's so stupid, man.
I was looking at the Black Adam figures there the other day. They wanted $48, and I was like, wild.
The vintage card Hercules. I had never seen one, and this is, I don't know, a year ago whenever it came out or whatever.
Oh,
and I was like,
really?
sweet. So I ended up like picking it up. I ended up getting it eventually, but this was when it first dropped. I'd never seen one, so like I got it, turned around, it was like $38.99. I was like,
we
we
had a bunch of those up here, especially at our GameStops.
Yeah, I ended up snagging one eventually, but the first time I saw one was at that FYE. And I was like, when they wanted almost $40 for it, I was like, really?
Oh.
Hard pass.
I was like, no,
Yeah,
thanks.
it's
exactly. Hard pass.
It's funny. We have a. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, my Walmart, you go in the clearance aisle and it'll say now $23.98, was $23.98. Good deal. I mean, I don't know if you guys get the same thing.
Clearance like $1 off.
I'm in there first, I'm like, what kind of shit is this? Like,
my Eternals figures at my Walmart are still $18 a piece.
Oh my god, that's $19 too much for those
What are
figures.
you
Exactly.
my Jeff Hardy's, but the last one he had in WWE, I think it's still $20-some in clearance, and I'm like,
damn.
Why
No,
are
I
they
get it.
clearance
$5 at Target right now.
what's that?
So why haven't they
Meanwhile,
clearance
$5
all
at
these
Target.
Landos?
Yeah, see, I don't get $5 anything. But
That's what I'm saying. Clearance
Not
the
here.
Landos.
Yeah.
Clearance the freaking
Dude,
Nyla Roses,
Landos
the
are still in the main tour
Sheetas,
aisle.
Yeah, man.
the Leias. I mean, just clearance those shits out.
You
Clearance all
do-
the freaking Batmans that are McFarlane's that I just ain't selling.
The
See,
old
then
Goldbergs.
they won't clearance them, and then like Sleepy will go and ask, "Hey, this was on clearance. Can you give it to me?" No, and they throw it away. Just give it to the guy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Like,
No,
Dude, yeah, right, dude. There was what do
Been
they
trying
call
to get
those?
a sheet
Contest
on
of
for 2 months, no one
Champion.
will sell me one.
I think I saw. I
Yeah, I
actually
was like-
felt bad for you that day because you were like, they wouldn't give it to me. They threw it in the bin. I'm like,
Yeah.
Don't you know who I am?
$7. And I found one
No,
at
I'm
Target,
sleepy.
and I was like, "Hey, these were clearanced out." And they're just like, "Oh, that was last week. We got to get rid of that now." Like, no, I'll take it. Don't worry.
Yeah, there was a Contest of Champions. They have those statues, and I came across a Thanos. I think I may have recorded it on one of my videos, but they were like $40 originally, and I went to scan it, and it was like C Associate or something. I was like, "What the hell is this?" And the girl scanned it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, this is discontinued, and so you can basically price it out yourself." And I was like, "Then I'll take it for like $1, dude." Like, and they were like,
Yeah.
"Well, you know," they were one store I went to. They were cool. They let me do that. And I was like, I said like $2 and they had 2 of them. So it's like, I'll get one for me. I'll get one for a buddy. I was like, $2. You know, it's a dope ass statue. I went to another one and it was the same type of deal, but they were like, no,
What store was this?
this was at a Target.
Okay.
And they were like, it was something, I forgot what they said, where like it had gone on clearance, but then it had gone beyond the clearance, had to be taken off the floor. So they were basically going to just throw it away.
yeah.
And
Sleepy
I was
had
like,
a
dude,
video of that too. Yeah.
that's crazy, bro. Like, it's like,
What
yeah,
it is,
so
it's called salvaging, and I've
Yeah.
actually gotten
Yes,
I've gotten
that's it.
approached to get those figures around that, and it works so well lately. So like, if you find one of the salvage figures, I actually just got the entire DC Suicide Squad wave for $4 a piece.
Oh wow.
nice, man.
So what you do is, if you find one of those figures that have been salvaged, after they go on clearance to their 80% off when they're $5 each, $6 each,
Yeah,
they no longer ring up. They get salvaged out. You'll scan them, and
Yes.
they'll be like, "Please see associate," whatever.
that's
So
what
what you do is you
happened.
tell them you found it on the clearance shelf and make up a price. Be like, "Oh, it said $6 back there. I didn't know." And you got to play dumb, and you got to
Yeah.
be real dumb. And
Yeah.
they'll look at you, and most times they'll look it up on their device and go, "Oh, it's ringing up 0. It
Yep.
wants you to throw it away." I don't know what. I'm like, "Well, it said $6 back there." And most times they'll get frustrated and not have time to deal with you, so they'll just
Yeah.
type in $6, and then you can just disappear with it or whatever.
Yeah,
Normally, what I do, and it's such a cool statue.
that's what I got. I got that
Nice.
for $2, and I
That's
found like
amazing.
4 of them, and then but then another store, and then I would just give them to buddies because I was like, I don't really flip figures. I'm not opposed to it, but then I went to another one, and they were just They were straight up strictly by the book. No, we have to throw these away. I was like, bro, what? Then tell me when you're going to put it out back, and I'll be there like next to the dumpster to like fish it out.
Yeah, like
Basically.
I think a couple of weeks ago, Sleeping, you had a video and you were like, they were going to destroy the toy. And I'm like,
I found one of the
genuinely
she's
feeling
on
sorry for you.
salvages. Yeah.
And I'm
And
like,
they took it out of my
Yeah.
hand and they're like, we're going to throw this one away. And I was
Yeah,
like,
like-
it was $7 last week. Let me give you 7. And they were like, nope, she
I
spawn's going in
almost
the
like-
trash.
I got
Yeah.
this vision in my head of them just taking it and denied and just smash it right in front of you.
Yeah,
right in
Come
front of you.
on, people, don't do that.
They pull
Let
a
me ask
target
you
hammer out
guys.
of their pocket. It's red. And they're just like, did you want this?
So I got a funny story about Target. See the hammer right here?
Yeah.
That's the Marvel Legends Mjolnir, the one that lights up and everything, right?
Yeah.
So I was grocery shopping and I had my baby with me, and I saw it. I was like, oh man, this looks awesome, and it was tagged for $19.99.
What?
So I said, this is not $19.99. I'm gonna take it. So I scanned it at one of the things, and
Yeah.
it said $19.99.
Whoa.
So I took a picture of it with my phone. I was like, this can't be $19.99, but it's here. So I was like, I'm going to go to the register. So I did the rest of my shopping. I'm at the checkout, and, I scanned it and it came up 19, but it flagged like the register, like started, the light goes off. I'm like, shit. I'm like, I'm not going to end up getting this. So like, so the manager, like the lady comes over and she goes, well, sir, she's like, what's the issue? I'm like, well, this scanned for 19, blah, blah, blah. She scans it and it comes up $129.99. And I'm like, well, no. I was like, So she went with me to the aisle. We saw the tag. She pulls the tag. We get the manager. It's about a 10-minute process. I start getting angry, and I'm like, I'm like, you know what's even better? When your child starts getting frustrated, because a 2-year-old getting mad solves all your retail woes. So she
I got a
starts
3-year-old. I understand.
So exactly. So she starts freaking out and starts having an issue. So the guy's like, you know what, sir? We're going to give it to you for 19, but I got to fix it in the system. And I was like, thank you, sir. Boom. I walked out with that, and I was like, holy shit. I walked out with
That's the win of the year right there.
That
Yeah.
was for me.
Yeah.
For me, that was the win, and I loved it because when my 2-year-old gets to hold it, it was like light up, and it was as tall as she is. So
That's
so
amazing.
that was like the win of wins. But I've also had like the same thing like Sleeping, where I've gone to Target and like gotten stuff in my hands, and they're like, nah, sorry. And I'm like, dude, why? It's come on. You gonna throw it out? I'll take it off your hands for $1.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is like I'll go to Target and my wife will she'll ask, well, why aren't you using your phone to scan it? I'm like, well, I'm going to check the price checker, because sometimes the app isn't exactly 100% accurate with what they have there at the store. And I've proven her wrong on that a couple times too. I'm like, see, it's showing up cheaper here than it is on the app. But let me ask you guys, do your Walmart still have the self-checkers?
Yes.
No, not all of them.
No.
Mine doesn't. Half the
Whoa.
time I'll scan something in my phone, and of course it shows the website price, right? And half the time, well, half the Walmart workers at my Walmarts, they're basically just people who are a bit too busy talking to even check the pricing for you. So a lot of times if I'm trying to find a deal, it's like, well, if I scan this comes up incorrect. One time I found something that was actually scanned $5 on the app. I take it to the register and it's showing up full price. The manager was like, oh, well, it's full price. I'm like, this is an item from like a year and a half ago. There's a clearance sticker on it that says $5. And he's like, well, I'm sorry, we have to go by what's scanned in the system. I was like, can I speak with the manager? He says, I actually am the shift manager. I was like,
right.
And you're not going to give me the price that it's marked. He says, nope. He says, I'm sorry, it's what it is in the system. So I was like, well, then I'm passing on all, because they had some, like those advent calendars, but it was the Ghostbusters. Me being a Ghostbuster fan, they had 10 of them. I was going to buy all 10 because I am part of a Ghostbusters franchise. I was going to try and get one for each of my teammates. But they're like, nope. I'm like, it says $5. Like, sorry, we can't. Now, why do you have a sticker like that? But we don't have the self-checkers, so you can't get an accurate price. You got to try and rely on your app. And
Well,
we
I
know
think
Walmart's
most-
not that reliable.
I think
Yeah, I
most
went to-
Targets are trying to pull them too.
I was at a Walmart and the Lego AT-AT scanned on my phone for $40. So I nearly shit, and I was like, "I'm gonna
Oh
grab
yeah.
this." And I had text Greg Cook at the time. This was about 6-7 months ago, and I said, "Hey, if he was like, get me one if they are, I'll pay you." And I was going to because I was going to maybe see him at ICCC at the time, but I brought it to the register. I brought both of them. The manager was like, we scanned it there. It came up 150 or whatever it was, and they were like, well, where did you see 40? I said, on my phone, watch. And I went on there. He said, you got to tap it again to get to the next screen. And that's where it had the real price.
Get out of here with
So
that shit.
evidently there's a double tap. And I'm like, well,
Facts.
it calls me a coronary. I'm like, AT-AT for $40. I'm going to grab them all.
Yeah, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I said, well, I don't want either one of them. And I was pissed off. And I just
Now, Walgreens got me the other day. I was I had mentioned this in the Legacy group that T3 and I are in. I was going to Walgreens and I was like grabbing something from my daughter, and I always check their toys because that Marvel Legends, they got their exclusives, so they had Binary. Now my wife is a fan of Captain Marvel, and I was like, I know Binary's tied to Captain Marvel. So I was like, all right. And I'd seen a friend of mine just sent me, who lives in the area, a Walgreens receipt dated a couple days earlier and a freaking like the little POS screen for $2.97. So I go up to the register. I'm like, hey, dude, it was a young guy, and you can tell he was a toy collector. So I was like, hey, could you just price check this for me? It says I want to make sure it's $2.97. Dude, he squashed any hope of me walking out with that for $2.97. He's like, nope, it rings up $24. That's what you got to pay. I'm like, dude, but the receipt right here from a Walgreens, a town over, is $2.97. He's like, well, they could have clearance it, we didn't.
Yep.
So you're telling me you won't give me what your POS says it's worth? Nope. Keep it. I'm out.
Because he was probably going to buy it himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
My Walgreens here has the $2 Marvel Legends. I've got 9 Quasars and 4 Binaries for $2 each.
Wow.
I'm putting out a video today, this afternoon, where I'm giving away all my Quasars to people.
No, hold one for me and one Binary.
Horseshoe.
We're gonna talk.
This man was born with a
talk,
horseshoe, okay?
How do you guys feel about the like these Target events like Haulathon and like this Geek Out one? Like, I personally I can't stand them. Like, especially this Geek Out last
Unless
one. Like,
there's sales, I don't care.
They're like they're supposed to put them out on this date. Well, people are getting them like a week early, or they're not putting them out, or they supposedly don't have them. Like, why are you running an event if you're not gonna like stay true to the event?
Right.
My Target still haven't put them out. Like, it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I have not seen a single one.
Like,
my Target hasn't put them out either.
Why do you have dates if you're just not going to follow them?
Right.
So I just ended up picking up from my friend Jay, the last bride, NECA, and she's going for like $90. And it was his birthday. And I was like, dude, just PayPal me the money. I got you. And he PayPal'd me that day, and I went and bought him his 2 figures. And I was like, I can't believe, like, they had like Leonardo's out the ass, but it was just like one April O'Neil. And I was like, I texted him. I was like, dude, they got the April O'Neil. He's like, grab it. So I get the PayPal money. I go right up there. I pay for everything. And I find out from a couple of my local friends, they're like, hey, that Target you went to, they weren't supposed to be out yet. I was like,
oh, well.
They rang up on the register. Like, I scanned it. It went like, boop, boop, and it came out. So that's on them. It's like, I get it.
What was that scanning sound again? Just one more time.
Damn. Sounds like a guy from Police Academy, man. That was like spot on.
Hey, dude, my, you know what? I'll tell you, I'm so used to it because I worked in retail for a long time as I was coming up. So before I got into education, I worked in GameStop for 10 years. I'm used to hearing that sound. But and it's like post-traumatic stress, man. I got some PTSD on top of everything else I got. So, but yeah, like, I honestly, like, when I hear these events come up, I stopped caring about the events because honestly, once I got out of Funko years ago, it's like I go and just get what I'm looking for. If I find it's like if somebody tells me like, hey, you can get the new Spider-Man stuff, I'm like, dope, I'll go look for it.
Right.
But if I don't find it, I'm not stressing my life over it, because you know what? It's like I think of what like Ethan Page says and several other people. It's like we're adults. When I start seeing like the crazy creeper dude with his cart full of toys and he's hovering over it because Lord help him, if I look wrong at him, he's gonna cut me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, dude, it's a freaking piece of plastic. Take whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
I've got one of those dudes here in my town. Like, I don't have many collectors here, but there's one guy who's in his late 50s, and he looks like he enjoys meth on the side. Like, he's very, like, gaunt and sunken and creepy. And he knows me by name. If I run into him at the store, he's always got a cart, and he buys the most ridiculous stuff. Like, he'll buy all the new release stuff, but then he'll also clear the shelf of all, like, the Camp Adventure Jurassic Park and, like, all the stuff that no one really wants. He'll buy a bunch of it, and he's just like, this is the reason I have no money. And he'll just be, like, trying to make conversation. But he'll show up at my work sometimes, and he'll be like, hey, look what I found. And he'll bring toys in, and I'm like, you need to go. I don't want to talk to you, man.
But the adventure. I'll go ahead, D3.
Sleepy was talking about $18 Eternals figures. And there's like this running joke now and on our podcast because I always kind of bring up the Eternals now. Like at our Walmart, they had them, I think, $11. So I was like, oh, I'll just buy one. And then so I went and rang it out, and it came up $3. I'm like, wait a minute. So I ran all the way back, and I was like, I'm going to grab all these, and they all rang up for $3. The only one I didn't find was Circe, and I just found it at GameStop, and I paid $6. But still, I was like, $3.
It's not bad.
I'm telling
Those might
guys,
be the
you
first figures they might have to actually pay us to take.
Right, brother.
If you find
That's
the only way I'll buy one is if someone paid me.
We had a joke with T3. We said that, you know what you would do? We would take all the Eternals Marvel Legends and put them in a Walmart parking lot, but we would actually see people bring them back in. They wouldn't steal them. They would bring them back in for them to be sold.
Guys, I'm telling you, I have a controversial opinion about those Eternals figures. Buy them. If you see them for $5, buy them and sell them online. I will preach this until the end of time. That Gilgamesh Build-A-Figure sells for $60 on eBay.
Yep, I sold mine.
Yep. Buy them for $3.
Really?
Sell the Build-A-Figure pieces and get your money plus. I've bought the Wave six times, and I've sold 5 Build-A-Figures for $400 already.
Jeez.
That's money, bro.
Like $65 each. So if you get the figure for $5, you can sell the Build-A-Figure piece for $10.
Exactly.
No
You're
shit.
doubling your money on Eternals
Tripling
all
up.
day long, and nobody wants them. So
Hell
nobody gives you
yeah.
crap about it. They're just like, take them off the shelf, and I'm like, dude, gladly, like, on eBay tonight. Gilgamesh Build-A-Figure, $60.
Exactly. Want that Gilgamesh? Take it.
Damn.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I'll take them all. I love that movie.
I've never seen it. I need to watch it one day.
Who wanted?
haven't seen it either.
Who said they wanted Hangman?
I got
it
it
was a
now.
joke.
Oh, nice. Look at that.
T3 sent it to me.
If anybody wants this Hangman, I got you. Just message me.
Damn.
I need to find a CM Punk. I found one yesterday, and the box
I'm looking
was
for
ripped open.
punks.
Dude,
I found
That's what I'm
one,
looking
and it's got a
for.
damaged box, and I hate it. I look at it with sadness. I think I'm going to list it online. Just I'm tired of looking at it. I want to buy a good box one.
dude,
Get
there
it now because he may
so-
not be around much longer.
exactly. So check
If
this out.
he's even still around.
So
Yeah,
I
well,
went.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I went and it was like it must have been like the day that Walmart just like one of the guys in the back was like click, and they had 2 whole rows of punks. So I was like, ooh. So I grabbed one for me, one for my boy, and I was like, I'm done. I go back the next day, gone.
Yep.
And I was
Yeah.
like, that's now, mind you, after the controversy of All Out, I was like, shit, I should have bought more because now this dude's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I got the page, and I've seen the Hangman page around. And I have a buddy that I met through the channel. He was there while I was recording one day, and we got to talking. So this dude goes out. This dude should actually have a channel. He goes out and he'll send me like, he's like, dude, this is here. He's like, come check it out. And I was like, immediately like make a beeline over there.
That's cool. That's good to have.
Yeah, it's almost as good as having employees doing the same
Yes.
thing.
I think Chris froze.
It's like he's in an eternal smile. I love it. It's like
Eternal smile.
That's his new
Eternals.
profile.
That's his
Yeah,
thumbnail.
yeah.
That's the thumbnail for our video. Just put that.
Someone snap it.
No, but see,
You
this
guys,
is part of.
Oh, we lost him.
He'll be back.
He'll be back.
Oh no!
You guys
But see-
remember these?
Yes.
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 So this is wave 2, and that's the chase.
That looks so good too.
Oh, that looks dope.
I like the
Oh, wow.
damage on it.
It's just the paint right here. Whoops.
I saw. Was it the micro?
Yeah, the new micro
machine ones?
squadrons. Or,
Mhm.
I saw Falcon, the Millennium Falcon. I almost picked it up. My Target had like 2 or 3 of them.
I found the rare the other day at Walmart on the top shelf. Someone had hidden
There
it in
we
the
go.
top stock, and I pulled it. These things sell for $80 a piece right now. These are so hard
Oh
to get
wow!
because
Yeah.
scalpers are just grabbing them by the handful.
hmm
Very tough to find.
We
That's
only have
crazy.
like one of those in our stores, if you're lucky.
Actually,
those
I found
things
this.
are
Well,
fine.
we were talking Star Wars. I just found this.
That thing
Oh,
is
wow.
so cool.
Yeah, this
Damn.
was. Yeah, I'm
Is
not
that
a.
the-
This is the Ronin.
Yeah.
Sick.
It's a Bandai statue. I was like 20
Oh, it's
bucks. I
Bandai?
was like,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, for 20 bucks you can't go
I was
wrong with
thinking
that.
it was a Coco. I'm trying to remember how to
Kotobukiya?
pronounce it. Yeah,
Kotobukiya,
I have
yeah.
Coco Melon. Not joking.
Coco.
And the same day I found these guys. The twins from Visions as well.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really want to
Okay.
get in on those
Hell
twins,
yeah.
but that price tag is a hard no for me.
Oh, for 90 bucks for SH Figure Arts, but that's
Yeah.
SH Figure Arts price. That's import price.
no, I
And
got
that's
a Darth Maul
nice.
on one of my
Oh
shelves.
yeah.
That's cool.
But see,
I've-
that's part of the whole thing we love right here. See, like this is that whole like we're all talking about our Target stresses and stuff. See, because I feel those woes like of living in an area where and it's funny. I don't film toy hunts. The only toy hunt I've ever filmed on my channel was almost 3 years ago when my wife went to a convention for education in South Carolina for like 2 days, and then I just basically drove around for the time that she was there to like comic book stores, and I filmed because I was like, I'm bored and I need something to do. And I don't feel it's weird because I don't, as much as I love being on camera, I don't know, and it's kind of like OG Geek said in his video yesterday. I feel weird sometimes vlogging in a Target because I know a lot of places are weird about people filming, especially with licenses. Because I worked for Suncoast for a long time, and Suncoast we never allowed anybody to film, take pictures, or anything because you had sensitive, you had IPs running around all over your store, and especially Target having Disney IP and Marvel IP. You get very. I know some managers are like, "Hey, stop filming," or whatever. So, I was always like. My content was more geared towards like what I picked up and talking about it on the channel versus actually filming it. But I do love that hunt. I do love watching you guys go out on hunts and seeing the love because I'm more like if me and Chris went on a hunt, we'd be chopping it up the whole time. I'd be sitting there with me and Sleeping would be chopping it up. I can't. To me, I'm going to be enjoying the hunt more with a guy that's going to be there or with my kids. Then I'm going to be recording it. But then again,
Yeah.
if somebody was recording it, it'd be just as much fun.
Right. That's why when I had the opportunity to hang out with Seth a few weeks back, like I said, he's the one that kind of got me into this. And I'm thankful for that. Him and OG watching those videos. So getting a hold of him and he was like, "Yeah, bro, let's do it." And I was like, "Damn, for real?" I was like, "All right, cool, man." And so we did it, and it was like, I don't even remember what I got. I got like a Mortal Kombat 2-pack, we went to Bits and Buttons and stuff like that. I picked up a few things, and it was like what I picked up wasn't really that memorable, but like just bullshitting with him and laughing and like cutting up, and like the dude was like one of the nicest guys I ever met, and like that is what I took away from the whole thing. And it's like it's almost like companion pieces. Like you watch his and see it from his point of view, you can watch mine, see it from mine, and like kind of record each other doing it. That was, I don't know, it was just that was the camaraderie. It means like that's so much more fun than just like going out and like, hey, I'm by myself, I'm recording this shit. And it's so much more fun with someone else.
But I think that that's what we need as part of like the therapy part of it is that why we do it. Like I think about how each one of us here, if we were all in the same room, how much fun we would have chopping it up.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah, man.
like if we were all at a Target, imagine we all were at a Target and like we're all just hanging out. How much fun that would be.
We'd be fucking
versus-
kicked out.
Exactly. They'd be like, y'all gotta go.
What are these old
Y'all
dudes
grown ass
doing?
men.
No. You know, it'd be even better. All of us were all at the we're all at the checkout, and then suddenly Street Date pops up.
We burn the fucking place to the ground.
Oh no! I'll be the first one, guys. Here, take this Marvel Legend, take this Eternals Marvel Legends. Scan that. We'll be good.
Yeah. Oh, we've all done that. We've all done that. I'll
I
say
could
this one
never do
twice.
that.
Whoops.
I got so much.
You've never.
Talk about hate.
Wink, wink.
Talk about hate. I know Sleeping said it, and I know that T3 said it. My channel is relatively small. I was a part of a larger channel before the Nerd Dungeon, and you know, I remember I posted in a toy community on Facebook, and I had when Shang-Chi. This is like the Shang-Chi wave just came out, and it was only at Target. They only had Katie and Shang-Chi, and I was like, I want Shang-Chi. Like I'm a huge martial artist fan. I love martial arts. I was like, I want that figure. It was street dated, so I did the whoop whoop. You know, I paid for it, right?
Yeah.
Paid for it. I left the store. I go on Facebook and I was like, hey, look what I picked up. And they were like, how'd you pick it up? You're an asshole. You're terrible. You're not a good human. And I'm sitting there just like,
Okay.
it's a piece of fucking plastic. It's $20. I paid for it. You screwed up the inventory. Rah! And I'm like, so of course the adult in me was just like, damn, I really did screw up the inventory. But the inner kid was like,
Oh shit.
like screw you guys, I got my toy. Woohoo. But I've experienced more hate than not. And it does weigh on me sometimes. I took time away for God, it was like almost a year. Took about a year off. And and it wasn't just the hate from the community. I was just like, I felt like I lost the motivation to make videos. Like I felt like I didn't have purpose. And I think that one of the things that I took away from that was that when I stopped doing it for the views and I just did it for the fun, it makes it so much better.
I agree.
Like it's when I go and talk about like when Toy Chats became what it is now, I enjoy it so much more because I don't feel like I'm locked into a particular schedule. We are on Wednesday. We move days, but it's like, to me, it's organized, but it's still fun. And I think that that's what it has to be, because I had a friend of mine say a long time ago, when things stop being fun, that's when you got to stop doing it. And it's true. Like, you know, I used to play Dungeons and Dragons in New York with my friends, and then we had internal drama, and I just was like, done. I don't need. If you people are gonna cause a fictitious game drama, I don't want to be here.
Right.
You know, I can go find other things to do with my time.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way with. And like I know, Dave, you were saying it. Every community has toxicity.
Oh yeah.
From video games to cosplay to anime to toy collecting, there's just it exists. We should not be having that toxicity. What we should be doing is bringing people up, because guess what? Just in the handle here that we have of this panel, you have guys that suffer from depression that easily, if you decided to be a jerk, not any of us, but like if people decided to treat us like we're not humans, you don't realize the feelings that you could be hurting, and you don't realize that can cause someone like John to go and sleep all day and not want to deal with people for weeks at end because you hurt his feelings, you know, and people are like, oh, that's so trivial. No, it's not.
Right.
It's not trivial. I read the stuff that they posted on your wall. Did you see my responses? Like, because I saw what you were going through sleeping with on Instagram when the guy was like, oh, stop buying stuff. And I was like, because I'm doing the same thing for my kids.
Yeah.
Me and John are doing the exact same thing. And you know what I said? I don't care what people think about what he or I do. We're grown ass men.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, it's our money. Do what you want, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
If we could take care of our kids, Because guess what? For the same thing you're doing, I raised over $1,000 to put towards my trip.
That's it.
Just to let you know.
Yeah.
And that's
it's stuff like none of this matters at all back here.
Right.
exactly. The thing is, if those kids are happy, like right now, I have my 2 kids in the living room. They're playing inside of an inflatable pool with their stuffed animals.
That's awesome.
Now, mind you, it's a 12-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I'm looking at them, but they're happy as shit. And guess what? That's all I need.
Yep.
Dude,
if you can give them more, why not? Like, do what you have to. Yeah.
An experience matters more to me than this experience I'm having with you gentlemen is such a great feeling that I've made 5 new friends because Carlos already is my friend, but I've made 5 new friends. And
is he?
I know. Is he?
I don't know. Really, Carlos?
Because because he does make fun of me a whole lot. Like said that my arthritis in my legs is all because my ankle's gonna be broken. My wife did laugh at that though. But
I am funny.
I don't know. You said 5 new friends. I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, but that Craven's went. Everyone but him. No,
Chris, you cool. Everybody
I'm
is
playing,
listed.
brother.
Everybody,
Likewise, man.
everybody here has shown me the same love that I would show back. And like I said, I think one of the things I heard that through the community, people said, "Oh, Dre's a clout chaser, that he's gonna ride on coattails." And I'll say this: one thing I don't ever want to be called as a clout chaser. I don't like to think of fads. I don't collect a fad. I don't go buy the newest bullshit because I want to get views. Honestly, right. I hang out with my friends and we talk toys, we talk movies, we talk about bullshit. Because guess what? At the end of the day, it's my de-stressor from being a stay-at-home parent, having my 2-year-old run around the house, driving me crazy, my 12-year-old talking about schoolwork, my wife talking about the kids at school driving her crazy, and having to try to be a normal dad and a toy collector and everything else in my day. And if
Right.
if that hour with my friends can keep me sane, by all means.
Yeah.
But I think people forget that. I think there's a lot of like internal strife that people like to pick and choose and say, oh, well, I like this channel, but these guys over here are like, they're still new. Who cares about new? If you're good and you're funny and your content's good, people will watch you.
What you like,
Yeah, exactly. Collect what you like. Play, dude. I play with my toys. My desk. I mean, I rip on T3 all the time, but I have Kit Bash figures sitting here in front of my desk. Like if y'all looked at my desk, you guys would be like, "Oh my god!" And sleeping, I agree with you. I have so much shit around here that like it's oh my god.
Like my wall right here, like all 4 of my walls look like this, and they're each different kinds of toys. Like I'm doing another sale today because I just want to ditch some of this and go have fun time. Like if I can make $400 and then take my kids to like Hershey Park for Halloween, like
hell yeah,
I'm going.
It's
speaking of hate, I wanted to like real quick earlier. You talking about like hate comments and people that leave comments. I got the most ridiculous one. Like I have the craziest story ever. I think. So like I mentioned earlier that like I got a ton of followers on TikTok this year doing stuff, and a big part of that is I put out a video last year where every time I go to Target, I always search under panels for toys because people hide their stashes under a lot of panels. And I went to Bridgeport, West Virginia. It's like 2 hours west of me. And I opened up the pan. I was just looking under the panel, see if I could find anybody's stashes. And I ended up finding a Transformer figure from 9 years ago. It was like first release Revenge of the Fallen Bumblebee from like 2015, 2014. Wow. It's only worth like $80. It's not that rare, but it was cool to find a 10-year-old trans. It was stuck to the floor. It was ridiculous.
I remember that video.
I posted it on TikTok, and it is the number 200th most watched TikTok video of 2021. It's got 10 million views. It's got more views than Doja Cat's video.
Wow.
Like, I have that video.
Wow, bro.
800,000 likes on it. It's ridiculous. But all of the comments, they're like 60% negative. A lot of people are like, oh, that's so cool. But I get a lot of people that are like, you put that there. I bet you brought it into Target and put it under the shelf, didn't you? And I'm just like, it's like 2 hours from my house. I'm not carrying a Transformer toy. One guy was like, bro, I bet you went there 8 years ago and put that there, and now you're coming back from clout, aren't you?
The long-term plan, the long-term payoff.
Wow. The long con right there.
I would totally sucker them. I would totally be like that. I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, I totally did that. You know what? I went there with my wife, and we put it there 10 years ago, right on the day that toy came out.
Yep.
And we said, we're going to come back.
On September the 11th, we're doing it. We're coming back 10 years from now. Wild. There are 9,000 comments on that video, and most of them are like, that toy's not even that impressive.
No.
You put that there
He
yourself.
hopped in his DeLorean and he went back in time.
Wild. But it's still getting views to this day. It's been out a year. It's got 10 million views.
That's amazing, dude. I wouldn't know what to do, man. I have 232 followers on YouTube, man. I'm just like, but you know what? I'm like, I don't care, man. Like, I just, if you follow it, it's like, I'm not, that was a conversation I actually had with Seth one day when we were talking. He was like, dude, he was like talking about his language. He's like, it got to the point where like, I could watch my language. I could do that. And then like, at some point, like toy manufacturers or like they could start sending you stuff. And he said, there's a lot of channels that they do that. He's like, or you can keep it real. You buy your own shit. Maybe you don't get like, you don't get all the free swag and all that stuff. And maybe you're struggling a little bit more with the viewers or whatever. He's like, but I was like, yeah, bro. It's like at the end of the day, it's just me. That's like, if we all went out on a toy hunt or if you saw me out on a toy hunt, that's what you got. That's what you got.
That's a line that I'm currently walking. I actually had that conversation with him at ICCC too. Because like I said, I have 5,000 subscribers on YouTube now and a bunch of TikTok, but I'm starting to get the attention of sponsors. Like I got a clothing sponsor last month.
Nice.
They send me money and boxes of clothes to wear in videos, but they don't like me to curse in my videos. So I'm like, do I want to keep collecting this $300 check and box of shirts? Or do I want to say fuck in a video every now and again, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, like, I don't know what to do.
I'm
and
like
I've got Hasbro
point,
sending me messages asking if I'd be interested in releasing new figures, if I would come on and do like the Shartimus Prime spot, like, hey, look at this new Marvel Legend. But they're also like, you got to keep it PG in all your videos. We can't putting you in a program. If we see you doing this or acting like this, you're out of consideration. But how big would that be for my channel if I'm just like, check out these Thunderbolts figures?
Yeah.
For
like
me.
at this point, I'm like, I have like hardly any followers. I do it just to have fun, so on and so forth. So I'm like, man, fuck corporate America and all that. But if they're like, hey, here's a $300 check, I'd be like, I didn't sell out. I sold up, brother. You know?
Exactly.
Well, gosh darn it, yeah.
Yeah. Golly
Spread
gee,
them go
look at this
Taz on
Robin,
them,
boys.
ECW style.
Exactly. Golly gee willikers. Guys, it's okay.
They're just like, we'll give you
Shucks.
money and clothes, but we need you not to cuss. And I'm like, oh, I don't cuss a lot anyway, but I guess I can try.
Yeah,
Oh,
frack
heck.
that. Yeah.
Oh, heck.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, I would.
I don't hear you cursing much on your channel.
Gosh darn it, I dropped that toy.
Well, you know, it's funny you talk about language. Sleeping the Steel City Con video I did.
Yeah.
I actually had to bleep my wife.
Did you really?
Well, she's because long story short, guys, my wife did a cosplay. She met Michael Rooker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she got an autograph. He actually signed her forearm. She didn't ask for that, but he signed it. And then she was like, well, tell you what, I'll go ahead. If you can write it small on this arm, I'll get it tattooed. And she did.
Damn.
But she's so excited because Michael Rooker basically wrote up and down both arms. And she's recapping the story to me, and I'm recording it. And she says, oh, I'm so bleeping excited. Like, oh my God, Michael Rooker signed my arm. So I'm like, I'm rewatching. Oh my God, you like swearing up and down. So I had to do I did an edit and bleeped her out, and I'm showing all her friends and even some family members. They're cracking the hell up over this. So like,
I heard her curse
she
in
swore,
person, and it was like, what just happened? Because I didn't expect that out of her.
Yeah, but that was a fun interaction, by the way, because like my wife, well, she's even said like, oh, I recognize your voice because she'll hear me watching sleeping videos and the streams on a computer, and she's like, oh my God, he's so tall. Like there was two things she said. Oh my God, he's so tall. Oh my God, she's so short, because Space Buns was with
I'm
sleeping.
I'm 6'4" and my wife is 4'10".
Wow.
So there's a big height difference between us two.
I'm 6'1", my wife is 5'2".
So you feel it,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. She said 5'2"3/4". She just screamed.
Don't leave those 3/4 out.
Knew it.
Don't leave those 3/4 out, brother.
Exactly. They hurt you.
Hey, gentlemen, I need to hop off here. My phone is at 2%. Carlos, I'm sorry, buddy. I said it last time. I was like, dude, I won't get on my phone next time because I had like a bunch of phone issues and I keep getting these notifications and I'm like, son of a bitch. I don't want you to just cut me off. So I thought I would just say, everyone, it was very nice to meet you guys and it was cool. Everyone talking about this stuff, dude. So I'm glad that at least on my end, since I have to dip out, ending it on a high note, but like no one be afraid to reach out. Any of you guys, anyone watching anything like that, man.
I probably
Thanks,
should hop
man.
out too myself. If we have been going 2.5 hours, I gotta get some stuff done today.
Yeah. The wife is messaging me. We got to do some shopping.
It's football day.
Yeah, I gotta get a video recorded and edited by you.
My bill's already won for the week, so I'm good.
By proxy, I'm a Commanders fan. I'm a Redskins fan, and then football team fan. And I guess I have to be a Commanders fan. I don't know. So I don't know. We'll see.
Right there. Oof.
My game's tomorrow, Monday night.
Hey,
right on. Yeah. Good
at least you're not a Chiefs fan.
That's,
Settle down up there. I see you. Listen, I've been a Chiefs fan since Trent Green. I've put in my time.
But yeah, Chris, thank you for joining. I appreciate it for coming on. I know this was a little uncomfortable, but hey, that's what this is about. Being uncomfortable.
It was awesome.
Being able to share your stuff. So
it was awesome, man. It's a pleasure to meet all you guys, man. I look forward to future talks too, man.
Definitely.
Take care, Chris.
All right, gentlemen. I'll holler at you guys.
Later days.
But yeah, we'll end this. I wasn't expecting this to go this long, honestly. I thought maybe like an hour and 45 minutes, but hey, it's fine. But yeah, thank you, Sleeping, Dave, Joe, and Colin, and Dre. Thank you for doing this. This will be up on the 22nd. And Joe, why is this coming up on the 22nd?
Well, it's weird because that's my son's birthday, so it makes it extra special for me. So thank you. Yep. And thanks and nice meeting everybody. Cool. Maybe I'll meet you guys someday. I've already met my boy there sleeping, and he's awesome. And he's a little taller than me by an inch, and I don't like that, but that's okay. But yeah, cool people to talk to. I appreciate everything, and it was great. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for coming on here again. Like I said, it is a heavy subject, and I appreciate you guys all sharing stories. And I know it's not easy. It's so easy for me, but there's a lot of people that I know that know my thing. So now we all know each other's stories. So I think we all can relate to a certain extent for our personal struggles and the reasons why we're doing all this collecting stuff. So I commend you all. You guys are all brave gentlemen. So thank you for doing this. I appreciate you all.
I did leave my number in the group chat on Instagram. Okay.
I got it.
Message. So if any of you ever want to talk, I'm here.
Yeah, man. So thank you again. That's the end of this roundtable discussion. Cyborg and BC will continue having roundtable discussions, but it'll be obviously about different stuff. So if you guys are wanting to do a roundtable, let me know on anything. We can bring up anything, any topic, because our podcasts are based off topics that we create or what's in the news or whatever. Dre knows because we did a podcast. Colin knows. So
I was just gonna say we should make this like a thing.
I mean, I'm down
to do it again. I really would.
Yeah.
I would love it. Honestly, yeah. If you ever want, I would love to do this again. Like, I think it's like we can call it like the brother check-in. Like, we can be like, hey, like, how are you guys doing? Because I know that besides us texting each other and having, social media and everything else, I mean, this is a good way of just, like following up. Like we could do it like whenever anybody has the free time. Like I got up early today specifically. I told my wife yesterday, I said, I'm going to get up early and do this. And it feels real good. Like I feel like I made some new friends for life in this. And I really appreciate having the opportunity to not just share what I've been going through, but to hear what others are going through and be able to just kind of help you guys. And like we said, hopefully help that one person. Because it's all that matters. We help that one person,
I mean, honestly, with the holidays are going to be coming up like nobody's business. I mean, you got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas, so spending. trying to find gifts for family members, or that time of year when you don't have family members with you. Me personally, October is heavy for a lot of reasons. My grandmother died on my mother's birthday, and my mom is going to be 10 years not with us. And my mom's birthday is October 18th, 3 days after my own birthday. So that always hits me heavy. Thanksgiving, like you guys heard me say, my parents aren't with me anymore. My dad actually died of cancer. He hid the cancer from us. That's the kind of like stubborn person he was. I try not to do that. Like me, a couple of years back, I focused on my health because I didn't want to go. I wanted to take care of my health. I actually went through gastric bypass to reverse my diabetes diagnosis, doing everything I can, but that's not always easy. Come the holidays, I mean, I have less and less family every year. My grandparents are gone. My own parents are gone. Each year you find you have less and less friends and family around you. So like he said, like Dre said, doing like a check-in, like maybe around just before Christmas time, just to check on how we're doing, or even just after Christmas, whatever, every couple months. It doesn't even have to be because of the holidays, like, hey, what's everyone doing how's everything going with Halloween? And, Halloween's personally my favorite time of the year.
Yep, me too.
But yeah, like I'm down for anything. Like,
Hey Dave, just I'm not. I don't want to be rude and cut you off. I want to ask you. And if you have IG,
Yep.
send me your address so I can send you a Christmas card, because
Sure.
I know sometimes that for me, I lost both my parents, and I know I don't deal with my family a lot. I have my wife's family, which they love me, but
same here.
my friends' family, like my friends are family. So send me your address, and if, like I said,
No,
any
will
of you guys
do.
send me. You guys want to send me your addresses? I'll send you guys a Christmas card, just because I might be a little bit nicer and send you a little something else, because that's just how I am.
Yeah.
I friend hard. I will
Yeah.
tell you that now. I friend hard. So deal with me.
When I figure out how to weasel my way into this legacy group that you guys have, I'll send you my address.
Wait.
Wait.
Weasel your way in. Wait.
Wait,
Sleeping.
what?
Wait, sleeping. You're in. You didn't. I'm one of the founding members, dude. You're talking to one of the 3 founders.
Hashtag weaseled in. I made it.
You are in, my brother, because I want like you guys to seriously. I know what it's like to feel like you're alienated and don't have an outlet. So feel free. Any of you guys, you want to mail me, message me your address. Come Christmas, I'll send you guys a card. I know that it's people are like, oh, well, I don't know you. That's how you get to know somebody. We're adults. Friending is very difficult when you're an adult, but it's not as difficult as it can be when you have toys and mutual friends involved.
Me personally, I've even when I was in high school, I worked at a skating rink, believe it or not. And I considered most of my coworkers back then closer to me than my own flesh and blood.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I joined this YouTube community and I meet you guys, like literally I consider a majority of people on YouTube closer to me than my own flesh and blood, and even now. Which, I mean, some people can see that as being sad, but also I think it's actually pretty positive. Because these people, each of us, when we pop up on each other's streams or comment on a video, you're getting to know that person. Every time they say, oh, you might be describing a figure or their impressions on it, but that gives you more insight as to their personality, their thinking, their thought process. You're learning more and more about these people. It may not be indirectly, but you're still learning more. And that, I think, is actually a very big positive that I think a lot of people don't really hit on. So,
yeah, I agree. Totally agree. I'm like Dre. I friend hard. So when I have,
buy me dinner first. Jeez.
What was that?
I said, buy me dinner first, please.
You like McDonald's?
No, I'm joking. I friend hard, dude. I'm one of those people that, like, if I like you, and I'm a good sense of people. If I don't like you, I'll know if I don't like you. Nobody here has, and nobody in this group has, I felt like that is more kindred in spirit to me than you guys right here, besides my legacy boys. But you guys, like, definitely, like, you guys, I feel like that like, you know, we needed to, we had this meeting of the minds, this roundtable, to meet and become closer. So now we take those steps, you know, we work hard, we build it together, and we establish those connections. So
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's like what you just said. I sense people very well, so I can tell if they're going to be good people or they're just straight up bullshit. And I mean, that's the reason, like I said earlier, this is the reason why everyone's here, because I know everyone has been real with me. And I am who I am in my videos as I am right now. Like, I'm not anyone different. I will never change my my way of thinking. And if I was to be, I don't know, say Hasbro was like, same thing with Sleeping said, was to say, oh, you can't cuss, I'd be like, yeah, F you, I'm going to do what I want. I don't want some corporate entity telling me what I can and can't do. This is my channel. So that's just how I am. But yeah, I'm totally down with doing this again. Hopefully we get more and more people to do this. It'd be awesome. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I appreciate you. You don't even understand how much I appreciate you all individually. I would, like I told Chris before, I forgot because he's left, but yeah, I told him, like, dude, you're like a brother to me, because I know we don't know each other, but we communicate, and that's how I am. Like Woody's mentioned, I will, like, if something's going on, like surgery or something personal's going on, I will reach out, because that's just how I am. So don't ever hesitate to reach out to me and be like, hey man, I'm feeling down or whatever. Like, I'm there. Like, if I'm working, I'll still message you. It doesn't matter, because you know everyone's important to me, especially you know, all this community, and all you guys are friends and brothers to me now. So just know that.
Definitely.
Appreciate it.
Well, cool. So thank you guys. If you have anything last minute, feel free to say it. But I think we're gonna end this,
One
and
quick
then
thing.
this
I
will
got
be
a
up
cheat-
on the 22nd.
I got one cheap plug. Me and a friend of mine are looking to do a podcast as well called Talking Nerdy. So as soon as that comes up, I will share it with you guys. Hopefully, it'll take off, but it's going to be maybe wrestling, toy collecting, what have you, just open discussion. But we came up with the name Talking Nerdy. So that's going to be coming up. I think maybe when Extreme Rules in WWE is our first, it might be our first one, because we're going to go to that together. So
Cool.
we'll see what happens. But we'll keep you posted. And
Awesome.
cool.
yeah,
Cool.
Thank you. Yep.
Anything from you, Dave?
Just, you know, the only thing I really have coming up is I'm actually trying to step out of my comfort zone. I'm a big sci-fi nerd, as if you can tell from the Proton Pack I have. I'm actually doing there's a classic show from the 80s called Quantum Leap that's being remade.
Can't
I'm
wait.
actually going to be doing a live reaction stream every Monday beginning September 19th.
Awesome.
So I'm going to be doing a live stream. If you guys are up, if you're into the show, the new reboots pop through, it's just going to be me doing a live reaction. I'm trying to get one or two other YouTubers involved so we can get like a actual reaction stream. I'm actually talking with a Wolfpack Tour Reviews about joining me on that. So
Sweet.
looking forward to it. So if you guys are into it, check it out. If not, you know, catch on other videos and streams.
Yeah, man.
But I'm down for any kind of discussion. In fact,
Yeah.
I see Colin has an Ecto 1 behind his head. So if he ever wants to do some kind of a Ghostbusters event or something, always let me know.
Yeah, just reach out. I'm always down. So
Yeah, Colin's good dude. Like he said, he messaged me a couple days ago about the saving our videos and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I delete them, and I'm like, BC's like, dude, do you need to save them all? And I'm like, I don't have freaking room.
I delete my videos after I know it's uploaded and it's, you know, the sound and it's not skipping, then I delete it because I don't have storage space, you know. I mean, if you did like two years worth of videos, I mean, it adds up.
Oh
yeah.
You know?
I'm already seeing how much. Yeah, it's either going to be hard drives or a lot of money in cloud storage, and I don't think I'm going to go either of those routes. So
I mean, if YouTube had some kind of server collapse, then I guess I would start over. You know.
Yeah.
Right.
Colin, anything from you before we end it?
I'm just happy to be here. I've interacted with a few of you through the chats and stuff. It's nice to meet you. You know, yeah, just happy to be here. Nice to meet you.
Cool.
Thanks for having
Trey?
me.
Thank you. Trey, anything? One last thing?
So I'll do a cheap plug as well. We have, obviously, you guys know on Tuesdays we have Legacy Tuesdays. We host that on Christian's YouTube channel, and
Welcome, sleeping.
Exactly, sleeping. Welcome. You got the official welcome. Basically we have our brothers get together. It could be anywhere from 3 of us, 2 of us, to like 8 of us in the chat. And then we control that. We just sit there. We open up toys. We talk toys. We just kind of bullshit and have a good old time. And then Wednesdays, for the foreseeable future, it'll be me and Eddy doing our Toy Chats YouTube. We'll have guests and stuff. So this week we're going to be doing some reactions to what's happening with the fallout of AEW and what's going on with them, as well as some of the D23 reactions. And we're going to talk some toys, some McFarlane stuff.
Sweet.
So just check us out.
Mr. Sleeping.
I don't know what to say. I'm pretty excited that I'm in this legacy group right now. me and Eddy, we go back, so I'm kind of excited about this. Also, he's moving really close to me.
Eddy's gonna be 4 hours from me because I live in Charlotte, so he'll be close to both of us, and he and I are talking about doing some fun stuff. So now that I know that you're close to him,
yeah, he messaged me the other day and we talked about it. I think he's gonna be like an hour and 15 from me.
Oh,
it's not far at all.
Wow.
So we're gonna have to plan some fun stuff, the 3 of us.
Yeah, definitely. I'm in.
This will be awesome. Joe, you're not that far either, bro.
Let me know.
We got a plan. We definitely got to get together, the 4 of us, and do some stuff.
Sure.
Other than that, I don't have anything. You guys are wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. I don't have nothing to plug, but this. Actually, I take that back. I forgot. So I do have a live podcast with Cyborg Soda. My friend Todd, we call him Beastie Radio. We do have the live podcast this coming Thursday with Century the Mad Collector. It's been a long time coming. We've been trying to work out schedules, and finally that we're doing that. And then obviously, as I said, this one will come out on the 22nd. This is in honor of Joe's son on his birthday, because Joe and I have been talking about it, and I was like, I'm totally down to do that for you because I totally get it. But yeah, this podcast and obviously my YouTube channel, like my YouTube channel is whatever it is. So I'm not here for clout. I'm not here for anything else, but just to have fun. And thank you all. I appreciate you. I've told you guys a million times. Appreciate you. Thank you again. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And I guess we'll all talk soon.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yes,
my
we
number is
will.
in the chat right now. So if you guys want it, please take it. You can text me. I'm very open to text people. So anyway, good night, guys, or good morning. Later.
Later, guys.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Hey, everybody. So this is the end of the podcast with everybody. Just wanted to share a few things before this podcast ended. So first off, I wanted to thank everybody that showed up today. So, so this was a very difficult discussion with everybody, and we hope that you get something out of this and take something back and decide to, I guess, take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health, take care of your mentals, like Marshawn would say, and think about other people. Think about what they're going through. As you heard tonight or today, that everyone's struggling in different ways, and we handle it in different ways. And through toy collecting, this is how all of us met. This is how we cope and deal with our daily stresses and, struggles that we're going through every day. And, yeah, so I hope you guys do take something away from this tonight, and you know, you take care of yourself and your families, and you know, you take the time to have a better understanding with other people that you know may be struggling, and you see the signs, and you're not overlooking things, because a lot of the time family members and friends overlook things, and we say things or do things that you know your friends and family may be like, oh, they're just being dramatic, or um, they're just you know just being them or whatever. So take that into consideration, that maybe they're struggling with something, and you just need to be there to listen and help, and you know discuss whatever is going on in their life. Just doing that little part helps, and I can say that for me personally. So, but I know those other gentlemen would agree. So, yes. So thank you, Chris, Craven the Toy Hunt, Colin, EC Collecting, Dave from Dave's Dimension, Dre the Geek Dad, Sleeping Collectibles, and Joe C Collectibles, for sharing your stories and how you've been able to get help or find positive and creative ways. Sorry, I just take a moment. But yeah, so gentlemen, thank you for being you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being the men you are. Thank you for being my friend. And through that, we've all bonded and connected in a different way. And I think we all know that from this podcast, that we can all reach out to each other with no problem, no hesitation, and we'll be there for each other, even though we live, you know, 2,000 miles away or 100 miles away or hours away. We're all there. We're all here for you. So, saying that, that means you too, the viewer, we're here for you. We're here to listen. We're here to talk to you. Whatever you need, you can reach out to any one of us. So, don't be afraid. We're here. We're not going to judge you. We're here to help you, point in the right direction. And yeah, so again, I wanted to thank those gentlemen today, and you know, your stories will hopefully help people find a positive way, you know, a positive way to move forward and get help. And because of this podcast, which has been very difficult for everybody, and I totally understand, and it may be difficult for you as well, to the viewer watching this. But you know, this does help you become a better person talking about this, a better friend, father, boyfriend, husband, whatever it is. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Just I have mad props for everybody that showed up today and decided to do this and talk about everything. So you gentlemen are courageous for speaking up and giving others who may watch this podcast a fighting chance to get help or reach out to somebody. So in closing, I want to say, again, thank you very much. And to the viewers, thank you for watching. Hope you take this seriously. And for anybody that is, watching this tonight, please, share your positive stories, thoughts in the comments. Please, people in here that are watching this, please don't leave anything negative. We definitely don't want that. We're trying to spread positivity in this world in some form. Yes, we're all grown ass men or women collecting toys and action figures and whatnot. This isn't a dick pissing contest, basically, is what I'm saying. Is we're all here for each other. So we want positivity, and that's my goal. For my life is to spread positivity in some way and help people that I can help, because there were other people that helped me get through my stuff. So, yeah. So, ongoing to end the rest of this podcast. So there's some wonderful resources out there may have heard of a few of these, or maybe you haven't. So, one of the best, I guess, apps you can download on your smartphone or your computer or whatever. I'm sure you hear this on many podcasts that you may watch or listen to. BetterHelp, please download that app. It's fantastic people there that will help you with anything you need. You can also go to www.mentalhealth.gov or www.nami.org or www.counseling.org, and also www.silencetheshame.com. And then last but not least, the company, well, I should say company, the I guess outreach that helped me was To Right Love on Her Arms. You may have heard of them. They were at every Warped Tour that I can remember. I mean, they're everywhere. They have a massive following online, on Instagram, Twitter. The founder is a fantastic gentleman, but he is no longer the founder. Besides that, there's many other places you can look for help. So yeah, those are just a few resources that I would probably reach out to if you are looking or struggling with something. And all these will be in the description, so you can click on the links. You don't, if you don't want to talk to any of us or whatnot, that's totally fine. But these links will be in the description for you to reach out to if you're struggling with any mental health, drug addiction, alcoholism, anything like that. That's what these are all for. And like I said, we're all here for you. So please reach out if you would like to. Like I said, we're all non-judgmental. We will help you as best we can and talk to you. And yeah, so that is it. Again, I appreciate you guys, everybody, for watching tonight. And I appreciate all the gentlemen who came on to do this. And one more thing, in November, we will have another round table discussion with different toy hunters, toy collectors. Some of these guys that were on this one may be back to that one. Totally up to them. But we are going to have a different round table of people, and we're going to talk about the same thing. We're going to keep this going. I feel like this is a good platform for toy collectors that you may or may not watch, to spread the joy, positivity, their stories. And our goal is excuse me, our goal is always, if this can reach one person, we can save one life, we've done our goal. And my main goal is to help as many people as I can, and I know these gentlemen would say the same thing. So yeah, thank you again for watching, and I guess we'll see you on the next Overgrown Third Graders podcast next Thursday. So peace out.